McVeigh, Caitlin Clark, Emma Gipple, Grace Gaber, and Nai Tong. Applause for the anthem, and we'll be back in just a moment here from Ankeny High School as it is Southeast Elementary Spirit Night. And the students are making their way out to courtside, and they will sing our national anthem, always part of the fun of the Spirit Nights as the kids get a chance to take part, and we'll have that for you in just a moment. All right, we'll do what we can to get you ready to go. 2 4-1 teams. Ankeny comes off a win on Tuesday night. That was against Lincoln. The Maroons, they won against Des Moines Roosevelt, but they lost to Southeast Polk. Nate, quickly, let's try to get you set up here. What do you see as keys to the game?
Let's start out with the home team in Ankeny. I feel like you have to get off to a fast start when you're taking on a team like Dowling. They like to bury you in the first 8 minutes, so making sure that you can execute on both ends of the court is going to be big. I think create extra possessions that will be big for Ankeny as well, and be aggressive offensively. For Dowling, don't beat yourself. Continue to get Caitlin Clark the basketball and stay out of foul trouble. That's the big reason why they lost to Southeast Polk on Monday, was the foul trouble that the Maroons got into.
Caitlin Clark, 90 points this week, and she's going to add to that tonight. Clark committed to the University of Iowa back in November, made national news there where she was going to go. Nai Tong and Calissa Wright will head to the center circle, and we'll get ready for basketball. We got a doubleheader tonight, girls first, boys to follow. Glad to have you here on CISN.TV. Tong tips it to Clark, and the Maroons have it. They are in their road maroon uniforms there as Clark makes her way around the officials, Jeff Junker, Randy Wiggins, and Jerry Kinder tonight, veteran crew of state basketball in Iowa, and seeing them a time or two at the state tournament. They go early. Tong down low right away. That's exactly how the Maroons started against Southeast Polk. They went early, down low.
Yeah, and I would go there all day if it's available.
Hawks move in. They like to push the tempo, and if you're a team that likes to push the tempo, what's the other team going to do? They're going to slow you down. That's Jenna Pitts, the freshman, the younger sister of Kayla. So if you hear us say Pitts a lot tonight, there's a reason. Harrington. Wright. On Tong, not quite looking. Looks like the Hawkettes are trying to wind some of this clock down here, Nate.
Yeah, I got to give Dowling a lot of credit right now. Matchup zone, it looks like, and they're doing a great job of rotating into that, and as I say that, a foul on the inside.
Pitts goes to the basket. She is fouled.
Maroon foul was on number 23, Emma Gipple.
Emma Gipple, the sophomore. So Ankeny has wins over Des Moines Lincoln, East, Fort Dodge, and North, and a loss to Mason City as Kayla Pitts hits the first free throw, and it's a 2-1 score early on. Pitts converts on the second. We're tied at 2. From the corner, McVeigh shot's no good. Clark tips it around, and Pitts gets the board.
And those are the types of possessions that Ankeny needs to win those 50-50 balls.
Kayla Pitts for 3 off the mark. Rebound taken from the left, back to the right. No good by Mashoff. Here comes Caitlin Clark. Pulls up, free throw line extended, short, rebound. That's Gipple, the sophomore. Stolen away, Hawkettes.
Good job on anticipation there by Ellie Mashoff, the junior.
Harrington was there on the fast break, couldn't quite convert. Maroons with it. 3 on the way, no good. Clark corrals. Runner won't go. Tong tips it. She's last to touch it, and it'll go back to the Hawkettes.
I got to tell you, Ankeny right now, that defensive possession, lucky to not give up the lead. Gotta like the pressure, though, in the half court right now by Ankeny.
Into the corner, Pitts for 3. The long arching shot, no good off the back of the iron. McVeigh is tipped away. Harrington trying to be too generous. Just needs to take that ball up. 3 ball on the way. You guessed it, Kaylin Clark. Her first points of the game.
Ankeny right now driving into the middle of the lane.
Harrington not bailed out on a foul there. Good straight-up defense by Emma Gipple. Tong in transition. Corner, 3. Good.
Dowling's done sorry about that, Paul. I tell you, Dowling's done a really good job of getting the outlet pass up the floor, and that one result of great execution in transition.
There'll be changes at the next whistle. Just under 5 to play. Pitts for 3. Off the up and over the back of the rim. Coach Clark just gave an indication to the girls coming into the ballgame. Let's pick up the pace. She doesn't like it. She wants to run the Hawkettes out of the gym. Holly Trimble into the game for the Hawkettes. Simplot comes in for Dowling, as does Lexi Bowles. Clark's 3 contested, and she hits it. 6 now for Clark.
I tell you, Clark's ability to create off the dribble is absolutely impressive. Like you mentioned, contested and made it look super easy.
Jenna Pitts with it, driving momentarily there on Julia Moore, the other Maroon to come into the ballgame. 11-2, Dowling in control. Trimble for 3. Good.
That breaks up a 9-0 run for Dowling as the Maroons try to get back quickly in transition, and does. Great pass from Clark inside Lexi Bowles for 2.
Bowles, the former Waukee Warrior, played a little bit last year. Pushes the lead back up to 8. Transferred mid-season last year. When the Maroons went to the state tournament, she went with them. Grace Gaber whistled for the foul. Bowles' brothers played football at Dowling Catholic, but Lexi had been out at Waukee. Bowles trying to get her into the game. She had a big block the other night against Southeast Polk and kind of got the team going. It's been Tong and Bowles kind of switching out down low for the Maroons. Pitts drives, the floater, not gonna go, and she's fouled by Bowles.
And that's what I'm talking about being aggressive offensively, driving in, making the defender, challenge your shot. And sometimes when you get challenged, you get fouled. Foul trouble can get you back in the ball game, and a couple free throws for the Hawkettes.
Kayla Pitts, a 53% free throw shooter, hits again. All 3 of her points tonight come from the free throw line.
And I feel like Ankeny is going to have to manufacture some points from the free throw line consistently throughout the night to be in the ball game in the 4th.
Pitts, XX, hits them both. Maroons drive, kick. They go into Bowles, turn around, she's wide open, try to get it to Clark on the backside, again being too generous.
Great anticipation by Jenna Pitts. And she just throws the ball away on the offensive end.
A little too fast there inside. And the Hawkettes turn it over. 13-7 is our score.
Really a 9-0 run for Dowling, the difference at this point. It was tied at 2. Maroons got up 11-2, and the Hawks have been trying to chip away ever since.
Top of the key Maroons. They go Bowles out.
Great inside out play. Bowles was able to kick it out, and Julia Moore with the 3-point shot.
Moore, the freshman. So both of these teams using freshmen in some spots. The lead back to 9 as we're under 3 minutes to play here in the quarter. Shot no good. Rebound and put back up for the Hawkettes. Isabel Vasic.
Getting second chance opportunities in the first. Good stuff from the Hawkettes. And they're going to get the possession back. Good job by Jenna Pitts as she gets the ball on the offensive end for Ankeny. Now out to Mashoff. And a foul looks like on the inside. It'll be an inbound on the baseline.
So Rodriguez and Vasic were kind of tied up down low. After you get past Bowles and Tong, the size game really kind of evens out. Ankeny for last year had really just a really shorter team and only a couple of players that gave them some height. They have to go with the shooting game, and on the cut pass, no good. Trimble not able to save it. It's going to be picked up by the Maroons. Breakaway layup, and conversion is Meg Simplot for her first 2.
Simplot with great effort on that play, staying with it.
Harrington goes to the basket. She's fouled by Bowles, and that's her second, Nate.
And you look at the foul discrepancy right now. It may be a lead for Dowling, but that is the 5th foul on the Maroons. You get to 7, that's the 1-and-1. 10 gets you double bonus. Ankeny might be down 9, but that's the storyline to keep an eye on as we go along here in the first half.
Harrington hits the first. Her first points of the night. Back to an 8-point deficit for the Hawkettes. Harrington's second. Good.
Nice arcing shot for Harrington, and the Hawkettes able to set up their half-court defense.
McVeigh. Simplot into Tong, who's back into the ballgame. She's from 15, cuts the distance, fouled on her drive to the basket. This time it's going to be Vasic.
That was a nice up and under move by Tong. Drove the baseline with the right-handed dribble and took contact. Unable to finish it, but she's going to get 2 chances at the charity stripe.
Dowling's really trying to do better ball movement. And right now it looks like Dowling is following their script a little bit here, Nate. They're trying to get more people to touch the ball. You just can't go down and just expect Clark to hit every single shot. You got to get the whole team involved as Tong misses both free throws. And a chance to cut this to 5 for the Hawkettes. Harrington drives, kicks. Basic number 3 maroon jerseys right there, Nate.
Well, to be fair, I mean, they came out of nowhere and kind of clogged the middle of the lane. Harrington, good idea initially, just couldn't get it executed properly.
And that's one thing that Coach Meyer wanted to do, be alert on defense. That was she cited as her number 1 key of the game. As Pitts to Harrington, 3, good!
That was great catch and shoot form. Give Pitts a lot of credit on the assist.
Harrington 3, pulls it within 4. Approaching a minute left in the quarter.
Yeah, right now Ankeny hanging back in a 3-2 zone, daring the Maroons to shoot from outside, and you're seeing Dowling try to create some offense with the inside-out game.
Pitts didn't want to go after that basketball. She thought it was going to be Hawkette basketball, but instead the official says no, it's going to stay with the Maroons as we're under a minute now to go in the quarter. Clark comes back in. Gaber, McVeigh, let's see. Gipple in there as well. That's McVeigh. Gipple, nice move, but she's fouled on the floor, and that's Vasic's second foul. If that's who they did whistle it. Yeah. Oh, Vasic's first. I thought she was whistled down there, Nate. Did I miss?
I think that was Dowling that they whistled down here.
McVeigh. Gipple says she'll shoot the three. Short. Clark, the board. Posts up. Fouled on her way back. Or she thought she was fouled on her way back up. Clark again sets her feet for three. Contested. No good. Rebound, Maroons.
I got to give Caitlin Clark a lot of credit. Girls that have that type of star power, when they don't get calls, usually pout and talk to the referees. You didn't see any of that during that. She just kept going in that possession, and it's not phasing her on the defensive end at all. I thought she got fouled twice on the offensive end. That was what my eyes saw.
Pitts gets beyond, and before she can get the shot off, she's fouled on her way to the basket with 9.9 in this fast-moving first quarter.
Has been a fast-moving first quarter.
Well, when you don't do much of a pregame show, you
That's
just
a good
jump right into the game.
We did just launch into the broadcast, didn't we?
It's the way it should be. You don't need to hear us over and
That's
over
a very
again.
good point.
Pitts. Trimble, 5 seconds. Drives, shoots, no good. Rebound.
It was a great
And that good defense there by Gaber, and that will end the quarter. 2014, Dowling in the lead. Back with quarter number 2 when we come back. Or we'll just stay here. We can do that too, Nate.
Yeah.
All right, Nate.
20 to 14. Good first quarter, I'd say.
So now we got to switch ink colors, but let's take a look quickly at some of the scoring here. Harrington, 5 points, leads the scores for Ankeny, where Clark has 6, 2. Welcome back to Ankeny High School. Paul Yeager, Nate Goddard on the CISN.TV network. Glad to have you here. Harrington, 5 points.
Employee pricing for all at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Cruise. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schottenkirk Chevy.
That Iowa basketball has seen in a while, so it's not their fault.
Yeah.
So I think that Clark is going to get hers, but trying to make her work like the Hawkettes are doing right now, that's only going to help their cause in the long run.
The last time these two teams played was back on February 1st, and Ankeny won that ball game 64-61. Other than that, it had been 8 straight Maroon victories. Drive to the hoop, and the left hand is good by Kayla Pitts.
She was able to split the defenders, finishing with the left hand. Nice play.
Lead cut to 4. 3 ball, good corner pocket for Grace Gaber.
And I think that's why Coach Meyer wants to get up in transition. You got an easy wide open look in the corner because you pushed it off the make.
3 on the way, no good for the Hawkettes. Shot by Mashoff, no good. Clark the board. Clark transition 3.
Goodness.
My gracious.
She looked like she was going to pass, and then all of a sudden stops on a dime, rises, and hits with the line drive. Beautiful.
You could watch her play all day.
All
Just
day.
what she can do. The runner, good! Jenna Pitts.
There's a reason this freshman is playing at the varsity level. She's got game. My goodness. Nice play to get down to the baseline and score off the glass.
8-point advantage for the Maroons as they look to add. One more pass, McVeigh. Gipple, nice move. Tong open on the left block. Turnaround post, fade away, good.
I've got to say, when you share the sugar, sweet results tend to happen. That was a delicious dime right in the middle of the lane. Tong with the turnaround, Jay.
28-18. Harrington pulls it back out. She shot that 3, draws Clark. That's the thing about Caitlin Clark, Nate. I've watched her play probably at least a dozen times in her career, and she can play defense. I'm not going to say as good as her offense, but she creates turnovers like she did just there.
She was the off-ball defender there, and she came over to help when she saw a pressure situation, and you caused a turnover down on the baseline. What more can you ask of a girl who, she was being recruited by Notre Dame, who was in the national championship in Division I women's college basketball last year.
Clark said she was down to Notre Dame, Iowa, and Iowa State. 3-ball no good. Tong the rebound. And now the Maroons will set it up again.
Oh, my. Falling away.
Clark.
Contested three on the right wing. My goodness, what can't you do, Caitlin Clark?
31-18. Clark all via three. She now has 4 threes for 12 points. Pitts. Drive on Tong. They're going to say she carried the basketball. Thought they were going to whistle her earlier in that possession.
Yeah, I would agree. And she kind of pushed off there on the offensive side. I'd take the turnover as opposed to an offensive foul at this juncture.
Lexi Bowles into the ball game as Coach Clark and Meyer go back and forth. And I call her Coach Clark because if you watch Caitlin play, she is just as much of a coach on that floor. She's pointing, she's running offenses. She gets a hand in the face there and still gets a pretty good shot off, as that was Ellie Mashoff on D there.
Yeah, great contest by Mashoff, and Clark showing off her defensive skills and will drive it all the way to the hoop.
And convert. Only 2 points. 14 now.
Ankeny just a little bit careless at times on the offensive end here in this quarter, and that's the difference in the ball game.
Biggest lead of the game for the Maroons at 15. Clark drives, floater in the lane, won't go. Bowles comes crashing through, tips it to Clark, who now it just kind of looks like all of a sudden Ankeny's lost a little bit of energy here and focus. Coach McAnally says, this is a place for a timeout.
Very good timeout, and hopefully the Hawkettes can simmer this run that Dowling's on.
17-point lead. Caitlin Clark now. I've got her, Nate, for 16. She can score 30, 40, 50 points if you just give her the opportunity. And I've had opposing coaches, I'll keep their identity anonymous, and they're like, you either guard her or you don't. She's going to beat you either way. Because if she doesn't score the points, chances are she's finding somebody else to score the points.
The vision that she has. She's able to put bounce passes, splitting defenders. She has no-look dimes that are just as pretty. I mean, this girl is the complete package, and the University of Iowa very lucky to keep her here in the Hawkeye State.
Head coach Lisa Bluter and Jan Jensen were at that Southeast Polk Dowling game on Monday night. And I had one of the ADs who didn't have a team playing that night tell me, man, this is fun. We ought to do this on a Monday night all the time.
I mean, I could do basketball all 7 days if you let me, Paul.
And twice on Sundays.
Twice on Sundays.
Jenna Pitts, the free throw is good. She now has 3. Actually, she now has 5. I got to get my stat caught up there.
I got to give Ankeny a lot of credit. When they have gotten to the free throw line, they're converting, and that's exactly what you need to do. When you are trailing, you got to take it possession by possession. There's no 20-point shots.
Clark, the assist, is Gaber. She wasn't even to where she was supposed to be, and she just got it to her. Gaber 3, 18-point lead, and a turnover again. Yeah,
a little careless on offense as Ankeny trying to play up tempo just a little bit too fast there.
Bowles in step, the lefty, it's good.
Yeah, I love girls that have the left-handed finish. That thing was a thing of beauty off glass.
McVeigh on defense here, who'll play softball at Michigan. That's where she's committed. Oh, and then Bowles steps out. That was a block from 15 feet away. Pitts thought about making a move. Harrington needed somebody to come join her. She finds Pitts, gets a screen. The pick and roll not there.
Good job resetting the offense for Ankeny instead of trying to force something on the inside.
Trimble. Bosick sets the screen, not enough. Mashoff wasn't there. 3-second lane violation called on the Hawkettes.
And you got to give Dowling a lot of credit there. I mean, they were rotating well, contesting well. I mean, Bowles, you mentioned that block. Yeah, she was about 10, 15 feet away. She was able to jump into the shooting space and get a hand on that thing.
Give her a head fake next time, but Clark rifles it across court. Gipple, 3, no good. Well, that's Simplot that missed the shot. Pitts with it. That one's Kayla. Jenna on the bench right now, grabbing a breather. Harrington drives, and every time Ankeny tries to drive and kick, there's about 4 to 5 arms in the way. Yeah,
and Harrington has done that at least 4 or 5 times. You pick the wing that you want. She's driven from either of them. And Dowling's starting to do a good job of getting in the way of the passing lanes.
Look at that. Look at that vision. Simplot misses the shot, gets her own rebound, and doesn't miss again.
That's too bad. To get a bounce pass in transition from half court like that and to put it on the money, it's just so good.
2 minutes to play in the half. Biggest lead of the game, 4. Harrington gives it. Block Bowles with the left that time.
She's got great anticipation on that end, especially here in the second quarter.
Simplot tried taking it coast to coast. Bowles steps out from 8 feet, no good. Trimble the rebound. 90 seconds left. Pitts tried to get. Clark thought she may have caused a turnover. Pitts for 3. No. Clark the rebound.
Ankeny unable to take advantage of that defensive miscue. A wide open 3 there at the top of the key.
Simplot's turnaround shot's no good, and that is going to be a foul on Ankeny.
I feel like that was a little bit of a fatigue play there as Isabella Vosik looks a little bit tired. And Simplot able to get her own rebound and is heading to the line for 2.
Free throw off the mark. The Maroons as a team, 66% shooting. Hawkettes 62, so hoping for a little better numbers in the season. You want to take advantage of that opportunity, but right now everything else going the Maroons' way. Second free throw is good by Simplot. Lead, biggest of the game, 23 points, and it's going to be more if the Maroons can convert. And a block by Pitts. The freshman gets back on D.
You love that. I mean, you're going to make mistakes in this game. It's how you respond to them. Jenna Pitts just showed us that she responds in the right way, giving maximum effort and getting a great defensive stop.
Oh, wide open 3. Good.
Too easy.
Gave her.
She had a time to read the paper, brush her teeth, and then line up for a 3.
Another 3. Hawkettes in the final 30 seconds, Nate.
It's like they're trying to set some screens for drive and kick possibilities.
So Rodriguez called for the foul on that play. Go ahead.
One thing I did see, they had 5 fouls midway through the first. Dowling, credit them, they were able to play defense without fouling for a lot of the rest of the quarter. Only 3 fouls since, and 1-and-1 opportunity right now for Ankeny. But I thought they were heading for a double bonus at, the way we started the game.
Pitts breaks the streak with her back-to-back free throws. An 8-0 run comes to a close. As It's one thing Coach Mack said. He goes, we have to not let them have those 8, 9, and 10-point runs. 2, 3, 4, 5 will happen. So we are into the final 5. Hawkettes get the steal. 2 seconds. 1. Got to get it off. Shot will go.
Great awareness by Pitts, knowing the shot clock was running out, and to at least get a shot up.
Dowling leads at the half, 46-22. A 26-point second quarter for the Maroons. 26-8. When you get outscored 26-8, Nate, it's kind of hard to get back up on the other side of things.
I would agree with that, yeah. And it started with that 9-0 run. We were tied at 2, and then all of a sudden Dowling got up 11-2. Ankeny tried to chip away, but that second quarter was just a killer for the Ankeny Hawkettes, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
All right, we'll take a quick break and get you ready. Recapped here in this first half, and then we'll talk about game number 2 when we come back. Dowling in control, 46-22. We're live at Ankeny High School here on the Central Iowa Sports Network, CISN.TV. Still on? Am I still on, Peter? Fantastic. Oh, yeah, that's right. He can't hear us. I have a way to fix it, but he doesn't like my way. All right, our crew have been busy this week. We did basketball on Tuesday and wrestling on Thursday, basketball tonight. We got all sorts of stuff next week. We'll take a quick break, and we will come back after this. You're watching high school basketball on CISN.TV.
Obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Employee pricing for all at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Cruise. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Dowling Catholic in control, 46-22. Caitlin Clark, I have her unofficially 16 points. Grace Gaber 12, and they have really pretty much scored everything via the 3. This is not the only game going on tonight. A couple of good girls games to keep you updated on. Ames at Urbandale, the Jayhawks had a big lead against Johnston at the state tournament last year and saw that evaporate. Johnson ended up in the semifinals before losing a great basketball game to Valley last year at the state tournament. But Urbandale's back. The Jomfy girls are just something to watch. You want to talk about some good players. Centennial is at Johnston tonight, Nate. And on Tuesday night, the Jaguars lost on the road to Valley. Johnston beat Waukee. And Johnston actually will play next Friday against these Dowling Catholic Maroons. So we're getting some of those good games in even before Christmas. The big game that I'll make sure I should have put some money on it is Appleton Parkersburg at Jessup. Andy Pollock will do the boys game with you, his hometown versus my hometown. AP actually ranked in the girls' athletic union. They are number 9 in Class 2A. Nobody cares but me and Andy. Boone at Ballard, Cedar Falls at Waterloo West, another good game. Waterloo West starting to make a little bit of run there on the girls' side of things. And Cedar Falls has spent time at number 2, as high as number 2 this year. For Dodge Waukee, then the big game, Iowa City West at City High. That's always a good game in almost every single sport, but girls basketball especially this year. Mason City at Valley North, Scott at Bettendorf, Winterset at ADM, Xavier at Linn-Mar, and Dyke New Hartford at Hudson. Those are some games that kind of caught my eye. Any of those, Nate, that stick out to you?
Well, I was the former voice of the ADM Tigers, so that Raccoon River Conference Highway 169 rivalry has my attention. The boys' game should be tremendous as Winterset actually beat Norwalk earlier on this week.
And that's why I put that in there, just for you, so you could set up a little bit and give us a little ADM history. And those are some of the other games that are going around tonight. And we'll try to get you some updates during the boys' game. And we'll talk about the boys' game when we come back. We'll take a quick 2-minute break and be back right after this. You're watching high school basketball on CISN.TV.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today. Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Welcome back to Ankeny High School. Paul Yeager, Nate Goner. Nate will have the boys' game tonight with Andy Pollock, and the Maroons are coming off a pretty good start. Ankeny Hawks not too shabby either, Nate.
No, a 3-0 start for the Hawks. Dowling 2-1. Dowling's one loss of the season, a tough one where they just could not score against Iowa City West. But
a lot of teams struggle against Iowa City West.
Yeah,
there's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, absolutely not. No, and they've bounced back nicely since. It's that typical size against speed. Dowling's got all but 3 guys 6 foot and taller, while Ankeny's got a whole bunch of very feisty, fast guards. Should be a lot of fun, and we'll see which side ends up winning this central matchup.
One less guard for Ankeny. There'll be no Braxton Brayless
Yes,
tonight.
and that's a big loss.
That's a big loss for the Hawks. Sitting out a suspension, and he'll be out for a few games. I don't know the exact number. But
This is actually going to be the last game that he misses.
Okay.
He's going to return on Tuesday. So it'll be a challenge from that. It was going to be a challenge for the Hawks, even if they had Bayless in the lineup. Look for Jackson, Smith, and Jordan Come to be impact players in the game. Both guards that have really picked up the scoring load since Bayless has missed the last 3 games.
Jordan Come, extremely fun to watch in the football field and when it comes to basketball as well. So, Nate, you'll have that game as we get you ready for half number 2 here. What do the Hawkettes got to do in this game to get back in it?
I think biggest thing, you've got to turn defense into offense at this point. You got to get some steals and get a man advantage 3-on-2 breaks and finish in transition. If you do have to go in the half court, I think you got to try to find your way into the paint and draw fouls. I mean, if you look at the 22 points that were scored by Ankeny, I would say nearly half was at the charity stripe. If that's the way you got to get back in this game, do it. They were shooting really well from the line.
Well, the Hawkettes talked about that they need to value the offensive possessions, high-quality shots, and limit turnovers. Okay, they started well on the first part with good possessions. Kind of lost their way a little bit on the quality shots, but they really kind of started getting bit by the turnover bug late in that half.
Yeah, and there were a lot that were here at half court that, Ankeny didn't even get a shot off because great on-ball pressure by Dowling. You got to give the Maroons credit in this as they have been feisty on the defensive end, giving up just 8 points in the second quarter. And like you mentioned earlier, when you outscore a team 26-8 in 1 8-minute frame, it's highly difficult to, stay competitive in a game. We'll see how Ankeny does here in the second half.
Well, we know they're going to play with an adjusted backboard as they just fixed the net there. Andy Anthem, the activities director here at Ankeny High School. Other duties as assigned. This is the way it goes. All right, here we go, half number 2, and we'll start with the same starters as Grace Gaber, Emma Gipple, Caitlin Clark, Ella McVeigh, and Nai Tong for the Maroons. The Hawkettes, Harrington, Kayla and Jenna Pitts. Early on, Clark's shot's no good. It's also Kalissa Wright and Ashley Harrington.
Thank you.
Tong's pass is taken away by Wright, and the Hawkettes cause a turnover here. They're down 24.
You got to take it one possession at a time, Paul. It's one of those things. There's no 24-point shot. You got to do it 2 or 3 points at a time.
The runner won't go for Pitts. And the Maroons push and one as Gipple just kind of got behind the defense with a nice little move, and then the reach when it didn't need it.
She looked like a pinball there going into the lane. A little hip check there from Mashoff, and one opportunity for Dowling.
Gipple hits it. Gipple the bucket. 49 now. For the Maroons, 22 for the Hawkettes. The give and go, Pitts to Pitts, no good. The shot is no good by Wright. And now the pace is picked up a little bit. Clark deals, and she'll get a chance for 2 shots.
She gets overshadowed because Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark, but I am really, really impressed by the 5'10 sophomore guard, Emma Gipple. On that play, able to defend without fouling, getting a block in the lane, and then able to get the outlet pass up the floor to Caitlin Clark, who was able to get herself 2 shots at the line.
50-22 as Clark hits the second. Now make it 51. $28-point lead. No, 29. Me and math, Nate.
It's hard sometimes.
It is. Clark now with 18. And they're going to call that 2 for Pitts.
That was a nice elbow shot for Pitts.
Oh, Mashoff.
Or
I
Mashoff,
might not
excuse
even
me.
be watching the right game. 3 ball on the way for the Maroons. Emma Gipple hits it.
Another Gipple signing. That's a girl, once Caitlin Clark moves on, she might end up being the star of this team.
3. Good. Right.
Great mechanics there by Wright. Able to line up, square her feet, right wing jumper. Good from downtown.
Cut to Clark, the lefty, and 1.
What?
And Kayla Pitts is going, what?
Great basketball IQ there by Gipple. Looked off the defender, found Clark cutting into the lane, able to get the basket to go, and 1. Dowling looking like a well-oiled machine after starting the week with that loss against Southeast Polk.
Clark's shot's no good. She's normally an 80% free throw shooter. The lead stays at 29.
That's the one thing about playing up-tempo basketball. It's great because you want to gas the other team, but sometimes you get a little bit too out of control. That an unforced turnover in Ankeny, another empty possession for them.
Little pressure put on by the Hawkettes and a pocket pick by Julia Moore.
I got to say, Ankeny's effort has not wavered despite their deficit. You got to give them credit. Attitude and effort has been high here to start the second half.
Harrington, Mashoff. Now Wright. Now that's Harrington. Now Wright. Pitts tries to get past Julia Moore, and the freshman will be whistled for the foul.
I like what Coach Meyer is having the Maroons do defensively. They are really doing closely guarded face guard when Ankeny is getting to half court. And it has applied a lot of pressure, and you can tell that it's really causing some frustrations for the Hawks.
I think they're going to whistle Bowles there. They are for the foul, and that's number 3. She picked up those 2 early on in the first quarter, and then that stopped being a story.
And if I'm Ankeny, I try to attack her again, try to pick up a quick 4th and see if you can get her on the bench.
Pitts does. Kayla Pitts just goes right where Bowles would have been in a regular defensive situation.
And that's, again, you got to be aggressive, attack the hole. Great job tight-roping the baseline there by Pitts.
Bowles back out and then into the front row of the sideline and the Dowling bench.
Now, Ankeny's got to find a way to put the ball in the hoop. If you get a defensive stop, you got to find a way to produce points on the other end. Otherwise, mentally, it just grinds on you over the course of a game.
27-point advantage. You can only cut into the lead 2 to 3 points at a time. Have good possessions. Hawkettes have a really hard stretch right here coming up. Pitts, the runner, won't go. She's fouled by McVeigh. The Hawkettes, Dowling tonight, Southeast Polk on Tuesday, and Urbandale next Friday. So that's number 3, number 2, and number 6.
And you look at the starters on this team, only one's a senior. You got a freshman getting valuable varsity minutes here in December. This is a stretch where you're going to get your mental toughness challenged night in and night out. That's what's great about the CIML conference, Paul. It seems like every week somebody's got a tough stretch of games, and that's what great competition's all about.
People always wonder, what does CIML stand for? You'd think it stands for Central Iowa Metropolitan League. Actually, it's a Latin word for brutal. That 3-ball good. Ellie McVeigh.
Squared up that shot beautifully on the left wing and canned it.
Back to a 29-point lead 59-30. Give and go to Pitts from Trimble, and it'll go back to the Hawkettes.
I got to give both of these teams a lot of credit. Not really challenging the officials' calls. They, some calls maybe have not gone their way, but you have not seen any complaining, any sluggishness, just getting back in next play.
Rodriguez's pass is tipped away. Nice move. They go Brianna in the corner. 3, no good. Bowles presence there, but not able to corral it because Ellie Mashoff had position. Up ahead, Trimble is fouled on her way to the basket.
And that's what you have to do. I don't think enough high school teams get up in transition. If you can get the outlet pass up, there's a lot of easy points that are left on the table. A great job by the Hawks of getting the ball into the front court in 2 passes and able to get 2 free throws for Clarissa Wright.
First one is good.
And if there's a big positive for the Hawkettes tonight, it's they are executing very well at the charity stripe.
They're going to have to do it more than one at a time to get back in this ballgame. But when you get shots with the clock stopped.
Oh, Hawks are applying back pressure in the backcourt, Paul.
Tong breaks it. Rodriguez, feet on the line. No, they said she was behind it. 3 ball. And that's going to be a foul on the Maroons, number 5.
Yeah,
and
push in the back there on Wishman. Right call. And Ankeny with another opportunity to get 2 points closer.
Wishman's first foul. And then there's going to be a foul again on Dowling Catholic, and this one is on Julia Moore. So both Moore and Pitts freshmen, so you know that they've seen each other over time.
I would say so. Middle school league.
What a great defense there.
I've been very impressed
Moore.
with multiple girls for the Maroons on the defensive end.
Right. Now Mashoff back to Wright.
You can see Ankeny's getting a little bit tired, a little sluggish as they're moving their motion offense.
Jenna, that's Kayla Pitts.
Nice job driving down to the left block, turnaround Jay, good over 2 defenders. What a job by the 5'8" senior Kayla Pitts. And Ankeny with another forced turnover on defense.
2 minutes, 23 seconds left to play third quarter. Now you got to get good possessions. Trimble again in the passing lane. The Maroons do a great job of being everywhere that Ankeny wants to pass the basketball.
Yeah, they do a really good job face guarding, off-ball guarding. I mean, they are really proficient. Right there, a great example.
Going the other way and finishing is Julia Moore.
Turning defense into offense, and Dowling with another 2.
Pitts and Moore trade buckets.
Pitts using the rim as a defender and was able to reverse lay-in for 2.
Inside to Tong. Loses handle. Moore, the runner, won't go. Tong has it taken away by Trimble. Coach Meyer content with leaving the current 5 on the floor. Clark still on the bench. This is an opportunity for Meyer to build a little bit of depth.
Absolutely.
Still trying to figure out who's going to step up when we need you. Pitts for 3, no good. Tong, the weak side board.
She's starting the break.
And it's knocked away. Mashoff, the beneficiary of that pass. I got to tell you, this Julia Moore, She has her hand in everything.
She's a deflection queen. I mean, she's got a tip ball here, whether it's a fingertip, a full hand, getting a shin on it. I mean, she is sacrificing her body, and the Maroons are benefiting from it.
40 seconds to go here in the quarter. Pitts has a seam, takes it, no good. Tipped to the Maroons.
Good idea by Pitts. The execution just wasn't there. That's offensive.
Simplot, a little too much of a shove, leading with the arm.
Can't use that chicken wing. They'll call it every single time. And Ankeny able to get a stop on that last possession. Still looking at a high hill to climb.
Pitts walks it up the court. That's Jenna. Kayla was there on her left for a moment. Backside, Vasek had 3 Maroons around her when she took that shot. Coach McAnally's going to look at that and says, hey, pump fake might get a little bit of contact.
Yep, because you got Gipple up in the air, and she was able to time that for a block. Had you shot faked, you might have got her up in the lane and drew a foul instead.
Too much of a hot pass for Trimble. It's going to go off of Dowling. Stay Ankeny basketball. Just under 8 seconds to play in the quarter. Pitts, nice move. Floater won't go. 4 seconds. 3, 2, and there's going to be a turnover.
Great job by both Harrington and Pitts, causing Gipple to think about it for a second. And when basketball players think, they often make just a little bit of a mistake that time. Turnover to Ankeny.
Hawkettes take a timeout. They're going to use this opportunity, Nate. 1 second left to work on an out-of-bounds play. Nothing like live ammunition.
Absolutely. Everything is preparing you for the run in February. So you find a way to go through all of this in the regular season. And I'm sorry, practice just doesn't cut it. When you've got people in the crowd, when you've got something to play for, those are the biggest learning lessons. So, yeah, I think it's a great timeout and a great learning lesson.
The problem is the Hawkettes are quite a ways from the basket. They're going to have to get a quick catch and shoot. Trimble to inbound. Pitts the corner 3, no good. But hey, good execution there. Got her an open look. We'll go to quarter number 4. When we come back, 61-36, quarter 4 in a moment.
Employee pricing for all at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Crew. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Quarter number 4, Dowling Catholic in control. 61-36, Paul Yeager, Nate Goddard, and the crew here at CISN.TV. Good to have you here tonight. Boys game coming up. We still have 8 minutes of action to go here. The Hawkettes in white. That's Pitts with the left side runner, won't go. Nai Tong the board, and the Maroons go back to their starting 5. In transition, catching, collecting, and scoring is Emma Gipple.
I tell you, Gipple with a mature move, Sometimes a pause in the action is good. You let your defender go by, lays it off the glass. A mature move from the sophomore Gipple.
Pitts drives in. McVeigh all over. Harrington tries to drive and kick. Trimble. Oof. Kind of got caught up in the air for a moment. Oh, nice move to the rack and one. Jenna Pitts.
No fear. No fear whatsoever as Jenna Pitts, standing 5'6", taking on Nai Tong, a 6'1" senior. Count the bucket and one. I tell you, I really like this Pitts girl. I think that she has a bright future here at Ankeny.
Free throw won't go. It stays 63-38. McVeigh. Gaber now pulls it back out, now drives back down. Gipple. Little tip action in the corner. Three is up and hits the top of the backboard, so it'll be a turnover on the shot by Grace Gaber, the senior who has 12 points in this contest.
To me, Paul, I think any girl on Dowling's team can bring the ball up in transition. That's a luxury that not a lot of teams can have, and something to watch out for as the season goes along.
Kayla Pitts' three is off the mark. Clark just runs Tong in transition.
Underhanded interior pass from Clark to Tong on the left block. Beautiful execution.
Maroons making it look easy. Trimble from the free throw line. Good.
Nice job by Trimble. Credit Pitts with the drive and kick. Nice dime for the freshman.
Clark step back three, in and out, no good. Trimble the rebound.
Ankeny just going a little bit too fast in transition. I like the fact that they're wanting to try to get some easy buckets, but sometimes if it's not there, don't force it. Bring the ball up yourself and see what you can do in the half court.
25-point advantage for the Maroons, in control, 5.5 to play here. Tong. Corner three, good. You guessed it, Grace
The forwards
Gaber.
on this team are passing like guards. It's impressive. Tong looking like Caitlin Clark out there on that one.
Harrington back with it, left wing. Pitts had her defender in the air for a moment. Kayla will drive, and then she's fouled.
See, this is what Ankeny, I don't think, was able to do consistently throughout the game. They started well, going on the...
Even falling down, she knows where to get the basketball.
Hey, sometimes it's slick out there. Everybody has, you slip from time to time as long as you don't turn over the basketball, and she had the awareness. I'm falling, I'm going to get it to a teammate. I mean, that's just great court awareness.
Clark, the interior pass, turn around like she's a post player for two more.
Turnaround J right in the middle of the paint. One of the easiest shots in the game.
110 points on the week for Caitlin Clark. 20 tonight to go with 90 that she already had. 39 against Roosevelt, 41 against Southeast Polk. Timeout. Maroons will take a timeout, and so will we. Back after this.
Oh. I can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Maroons in control, but the Hawkettes with a chance to score here. Jenna Pitts, the free throw line, the 70% free throw shooter, off the mark. The freshman averages 10 points a contest. She had 11 against Lincoln on Tuesday night. Her sister Kayla had 17. And it's the Pitts 23 of the team's 45 points. 2-on-1 for the Maroons. The drill to Rodriguez, no good. Rebound Lexi Bowles. Just bowls her way through to clear space. Bowles turn around. She's fouled on the way to the basket. I think we are probably done seeing Caitlin Clark for the game at 3:57 left to go, Nate.
Yeah, I think that her night is done, and another impressive quality game out of her. And this is a luxury that Coach Meyer has, being able to develop that depth. You got 4 full minutes of varsity action to be able to run plays and make mistakes on this level.
They go back door to Bowles, turn around, she's tied up.
That's
ball.
Great defense. All ball there by Kayla Pitts. And the alternate possession will keep the ball with Dowling. But again, great job tying up Bowles there on the inside. Kayla Pitts just 5'8". And I would say Bowles has noticeable size advantage.
Into the corner, not saved. Rodriguez tried. Brianna, one of the seniors, Gaber, Tong, Rodriguez, Simplot, Clark, all seniors on this squad. But it's the plays of Gipple, McVeigh, Moore. Coach Clark has a lot going on in this program. Used to be, she was the coach at Nevada, won a state title up there with a couple of great runs at the tournament. Inside Pitts is fouled. No, she traveled. Got tied up there. Drew McAnally, his 4th season here as the Ankeny head coach.
It's nice to see that the Maroons JV team is not phoning it in on the defensive end with the big lead. They're constantly working, constantly being a pest. And if you do that over 4 quarters, you're seeing what the fruits of their labor are. A big lead on the scoreboard and a frustrated Hawkette team.
Well, Moore is in there, so is Simplot. It's a great lineup of reserves. Inside, Harrington cuts around, now kicks to Trimble for 3. Trimble now with 9. Still some pressure. Bowles in transition, has to wait for Rodriguez to cross midcourt. Just collects. Rodriguez drives, kicks, 3, arch, and no good for Moore. And there's going to be a foul underneath.
I personally thought Bowles maybe had a foot on the line when getting that rebound, but again, with this much time left, I mean, we're splitting hairs at this point.
Right. Bowles, the catch and release, no good. Again, Maroons have it. Rodriguez collects. Bowles. Oh, nice cut and fouled. Simplot on her way to the basket.
Outside of Caitlin Clark, I think the thing that has been the most impressive for me seeing Dowling for the first time is their interior passing. Those forwards really do a good job of slinging the ball out to the guards for 3-point opportunities. And when you've got everybody sharing the sugar, sweet results will happen for you eventually. And Very good result here for Dowling tonight. Just impressed with the unselfish play.
73-48. And the free throw no good. And Ankeny the board. Harrington has to chase it down. Mash off. Now Pitts. The move, no good. Gets their rebound for a moment, but couldn't quite get control. Hawkettes had 4 white shirts. In there now is Sydney Truman, number 10. The floater and 1. Kayla Pitts.
I really,
with 14.
I really appreciate what Ankeny is doing, not giving up. You know, this game has been decided on the scoreboard for a minute, but you can't tell that by the demeanor of the girls. They're just continuing to play. They're continuing to find their way into the lane. And you got to like that as a coach. Yeah, the result isn't what you want, but the fact that the attitude and effort is there, you can work with that.
Pitts will go out, and it will be Dacus and Hersom come in for the final 100 seconds. Rodriguez. As we switch to the everybody on your roster part of the program.
That's what we like to call in the biz as garbage time.
Well, that's nothing junky about that. Meg Simplot. Big 3 bucket there. She now has 9. Chrisman's shot no good. Hersom just not quite able to save that one before it goes out of bounds. This is game 1 of 2 tonight. Boys game coming up. Nate's got all the notes out. He'll be there in a moment. We're going to have a whistle a long way from the basket. Truman went for the steal on Moore.
I got to give Sydney Truman a little shout out there. You don't see a lot of girls diving on the floor with 42 seconds left in a game that's down by 25, but the Hawkette able to stick it out and got the ball for her team. You never give up, and I mean, this is a senior that doesn't get a lot of playing time and taking advantage of the moment that she has. Good for her.
Paige Ryburn into the game for the Hawkettes. Truman, Chrisman, now back Truman, final 20 seconds. Ryburn on the cut. Oh, nice pass. Oh, and a chance for a scoring opportunity here with Sydney Truman, the senior, with 10.2 seconds to go. 76-51. Oh, won't go. Truman with the chance there. Ankeny will play Southeast Polk Tuesday. It'll be here. And the Maroons have the week off, and they'll play in 1 week from tonight at Johnston. That'll be a good one. The Dragons tonight hosting Centennial. And that'll do it, 76-52. The Maroons almost held under their scoring average of the year, but they get above 71 to, they best it by 5. Caitlin Clark unofficially tonight finished with 20 points. 10 for Emma Geppel, 15 for Grace Gaber, 9 for Meg Simplot, 3 for Ella McVeigh, Julia Moore with 5, and Lexi Bowles for 4. For the Hawkettes, they're led by Kayla Pitts is 14, 11 for Jenna Pitts, Mashoff 2, Wright 4, Trimble 9, Harrington 5, 2 for Isabel Vasic. That's a ball game that will now move the Hawks to 4-2, and the Maroons will improve to 5-1. And now have a week off after a busy 3-game stretch. And we'll take a few-minute break here as the two boys teams come onto the court. But final thoughts on the girls game, Nate?
I tell you, I was very impressed with the unselfish play of Dowling. You think when Caitlin Clark is averaging so many points and she's doing it off the dribble that this is an unselfish group? Completely wrong. She's able to score in a multitude of ways. Not only that, everybody on this team is unselfish. Everybody knows how to pass on the interior, and that is going to be something to watch out for as the season goes along, because as those passes get more and more proficient, the execution's going to get better, and as long as they stay healthy, Dowling's going to have a chance to not only get to Wells, but to win the chip coming up in March.
They're thinking of playing on that last night of the season in Class 5A. That's the goal. You can see it. They're building for it, and we'll see how it goes. We'll have them later on this season on CISN Todd TV. Nate, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. I look forward to being on the boys' game up next.
All right, Andy Pollock is here. Nate and Andy will take you the rest of the way for the crew here at CISN Final. The Hawks fall as the Dowling Catholic Maroons roll 76-52. Good night for just right now from Ankeny High School.
Why do I look for the whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Employee pricing for all at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Crew. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Employee pricing for all at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Crew. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. It's kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
And welcome back to Game 2 from the Hawks Nest here at Ankeny High School. Central Iowa Sports Network TV coverage of the Central Iowa Metropolitan League. Nate Goner alongside Andy Pollock. It's Game 2 between Ankeny and Dowling. We saw Dowling dominate in game number 1. Andy, hoping for a closer boys game and a matchup that has speed versus size.
And it's going to be interesting. These two teams are not they're very familiar with each other. They've seen each other a bunch, as are all basketball teams in the CIML. They end up playing each other a bunch during the fall, during the summer league. So these teams know each other very well. It's interesting talking to both coaches because they both know everything about the other team. These are guys that have played against each other for a lot of years in a lot of sports. And just another matchup tonight.
Well, let's go back to the fall sports season. These two teams matched up twice on the gridiron. The first game, a little closer than the second, Dowling winning both of those. But as somebody who's lives in Ankeny, affiliated with the Dowling district, how big of a rivalry is it between these two? I mean, Dowling and Valley, I would say, are the main rivals, but in the hierarchy for Dowling, where does Ankeny rank in the rivalry?
They're right up there. In this last couple of years, they've been a district team, so that elevates it a little bit more. The games mean just a little bit more. Around here, all these teams, all the teams in the CIML, they all know each other. Every night that you play somebody, you're playing against a guy that you probably played club with in baseball or ran with on the track or played maybe a youth football league, got together and made an all-star team with. So these guys all know each other very well. The CIML is a fun league to watch games with just because of the familiarity that everybody has with each other.
Ankeny comes in with a 3-0 record. 2 of those wins by 1 possession, including an overtime victory at Des Moines Lincoln on Tuesday night. For Dowling, after a slow start against the power that is Iowa City West, they bounce back with some nice wins against Dowling and Des Moines Roosevelt, and this sets up for a very good Central Division matchup tonight.
Yeah, Ankeny's got some guys that can get to the hoop. Jordan Cumm, we've watched him for years. Great athlete on the basketball floor, out on the football field as well. And between him and Jackson Smith, just guys that find their way to the basket, and they do that by their defense. Their defense creates their offense. They extend their pressure. They're going to pick you up at half court and just be harassing you all night long. And that converts to a lot of buckets for them, just constantly very active with their hands and just making things very difficult. And Dowling's going to have a tough task because they're overmatched in the guard court tonight.
Absolutely. And we will come back, talk keys to the game, get starting lineups after this break. You are listening to CIML Basketball on the Central Iowa Sports Network, CISN TV.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, The Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Welcome you back here to the Hawks Nest as we are getting set for Game 2 of our Central Iowa Metropolitan League Central Varsity doubleheader here tonight. The Dowling Catholic Maroons in town to take on the Ankeny Hawks, and Andy Pollock is to my left. My name is Nate Garner. Happy to have you along for CIML basketball here on CISN TV. As we look at keys to the game, Andy, actually, it sounds like we're about to get starting lineups, but really quickly, let's talk about a couple keys for both sides. Let's start out Dowling coming in 2-1.
And now let's welcome our guests to the CIML matchup. Put your hands together for the fans, coaches, and players for the Dowling Catholic Maroons. Assistant coaches for the Maroons are Nick Wagner, Jimmy Haas, and David Jones. The head coach for Dowling is Mike O'Connor. Assistant coaches for Ankeny are Nathan Toby, Brandon Johnson, and Mark Crouch. And your head hawk is Mr. Brian Carlson. And now let's introduce our boys captains from Southeast Elementary: Finn Bolton, Ridley Brooks, Ashton Rainfeld, Lars Hoffnax, and Carter McBride, our Southeast Elementary captains. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, from the Maroons, a 6'2" senior, number 5, Matt Stillwell. From the Hawks, a 5'11" senior, number 3, Jackson.
But when he comes back, that just adds another wrinkle into this already fast, up-tempo style of team.
He's a little bit longer than the other guards that they have as well, so him getting to the hoop, his vertical, he just seems to float in the air when he gets in the lane, so Braxton's a very good player.
Their road black uniforms, white numerals, and a little bit of a maroon trim. Ankeny, home white uniforms. Gold across the chest, a little bit hard to see the numerals as they are grayed out on a white jersey. So we will
don't have to contend with ponytails.
That's a good point. Yeah, we do have that advantage, but bear with us if we do have a little bit of hard time seeing the jersey numbers here this evening.
It's just interesting watching the starting lineups, just the length and the height that Dowling's got the advantage in this particular setting right now. Because as you see Nolan Otten get introduced for Ankeny, he's a savvy player around the basket, but he's giving up 5 to 6 inches when he's down there posting up. So really good body control, finds himself under the basket a lot. Good positioning and rebounding, but he's so far out-heighted tonight, it's going to be a tough task for him.
For Dowling, the visitors, they're starting Michael Keogh, Matt Stillwell, Joe Stracco, Ryan Riggs, and Matt Riedel. Ankeny countering with Jackson Smith, Jordan Cum, Brecken Manis, Ron Momia, and Nolan Otten. Again, Ankeny in the home white uniforms with the gray numerals. Gold Ankeny across the chest. They will head left to right to start tonight. Dowling in the black road uniforms with white numerals, white lettering across the front, and the maroon trim.
And it should be a fun atmosphere here tonight. There's a good, Ankeny always brings a lot of students to their games, and Dowling's got a few here as well, but they'll create a fun atmosphere here in the Hawks Nest.
So it is Simon Daniel jumping up against Ryan Mamiya, and the tip going in the backcourt. Ankeny securing it. Brecken Manis will bring us across the timeline and set for game number 2 here from Ankeny. Jordan comes, skip pass over to Jackson Smith, right wing. He'll drive on the inside, kicks it out to Otten near the top of the key. Ankeny running motion offense to start the game. 20 seconds gone, no score. Jordan come, dribbling inside the arc, back outside, top of the key to Otten. They'll get it to Manis. He'll drive with the right hand inside the free throw line, kicks it out left side of the arc to Otten. Now come, pulling up from the free throw line, off to the right, and a rebound down to Dowling.
You just notice in the half court, just not a lot of opportunities for Ankeny to penetrate.
Riedel with the rebound. A shot by Stillwell is off, and here comes Ankeny in transition. No score, about a minute gone here in the first. Jackson Smith pull up from the free throw line, yes.
Smith, everybody just kind of backed off him. Found himself wide open for the 15-footer.
2-0, Ankeny with the lead, a minute gone here from the Hawks Nest. Right now it is Stracco. Top of the key here, Stillwell, left-handed dribble drive, kicks it out. Catch and shoot 3 in the corner is off for Drew Daniel. A rebound down to Ryan Riggs, and now Ankeny on the other way. Jackson Smith too hard off the window, and a rebound down to Dowling.
That's exactly the game the Hawks want to play. The quick rebound, the quick outlet, beat everybody down court. Just couldn't quite finish.
Stillwell, interior pass to Riggs, who uses the reverse lay-in.
It's a great look by Stillwell. Looked him off, looked the defender off, and found himself an angle to get the ball to Riggs. And Riggs, that reverse layup, he's got a lot of length under the hoop to toss that in.
6:10 remaining, opening quarter, tied at 2. Jordan Cum driving into the lane. Good job, defensive hands, Matt Stillwell. The ball going to Ankeny on their offensive baseline.
First chance we have to see how Dowling's going to defend things under the hoop. That's an awkward angle. They've got Naughton really pressed off to the sideline. Not a lot of room out there.
Jackson Smith operating on the left wing. Thought about driving, now will reset the offense outside the arc. Jordan Cum kicking it in the corner. Brecken Manis taking body contact on the baseline, and it'll be on the floor. That'll be the first foul charged to Dowling.
Stracco gave up the baseline a little bit. They try to use that as another defender on the court, but use a little extra body to really force him out.
Nolan Otten to inbound. Entry pass on the left block to Jackson Smith. His shot is off. Loose ball is going to be to Dowling. And a good job trying to save it by Jackson Smith. Both teams showing great effort here in the first couple minutes.
Yeah, found the ball off head coach Mike O'Connor over there as it kicked out of there.
Pass on the inside, Riggs, body and Otten, and it's him good for 2.
Defensive strategy, interesting there, is Ankeny letting Keogh drive as much as he wanted to and really forced the help defense to come out, and that left Riggs wide open.
Career game number 50 for Ryan Riggs. He has all 4 points for Dowling, leading by a deuce. 5:15 remaining first quarter. It'll be Manis driving on the inside, takes body contact, and he'll head to the line for 2.
Manis got Daniel out of position, drove into him, got into his hip. He's saying he was straight up, and he might have been, but just too much movement, too much impeding his progress.
So 2 fouls for Dowling Catholic. Brecken Manis at the line. First one left short. Manis, best game of the season, Des Moines North to start the year. 5 points, 8 rebounds, including 5 offensive boards that night.
Now Manis, a linebacker on the football team. He plays that way on the basketball court as well. Very physical player.
Missing both free throws, and Dowling down with the board. Stillwell kicking it out. That is Daniel. This is Keogh driving with the left hand. Switches hands, puts it off glass. No. Rebound to Riggs. Here's Stillwell. and he drives down the lane, no. Rebound volleyed off the face of Otten into the hands of Keogh. Dowling with the ball, catch and shoot three is off, and a rebound taken by Ankeny.
Keogh really kept that alive, great hustle by him.
And now
several times. Dowling
able to slow the Hawks into a half-court offense, and there is a foul on the drive by Jordan Cum.
I think, did they call that on Cum, or did he get fouled? I'm not sure. They said, okay, they called on Daniel, which I think is his second, actually.
Drew Daniel, it is his second. Foul is on the floor, so it'll be an out of bounds on the baseline for Otten. And a turnover on the out of bounds play.
Cum throwing an arm a little bit. I think he got away with one on the foul right before, and then came back and they had their eyes on him quickly, and they got him for it coming off the inbounds.
4:30 remaining here in the opening quarter. It's Dowling 4, Ankeny 2. Maroons, Matt Stillwell kicking it in the right corner. Down on the inside to Riggs. He will go around Otten, and they will call a travel. You could have maybe gotten a hook on Riggs as well as he was trying to get around Otten.
And I think the official underneath the basket was ready to call that, and then the official up top said no, he traveled first.
Again, you would take the turnover over a foul this early in the game. We've got 4:12 and counting remaining first quarter. It's a 4-2 Dowling Catholic lead.
Couple subs for Dowling. Our first look at Omaha Billieu, the very talented freshman. Now at the top of the key for Dowling. Andrew Lynch has come in as well, fresh off the football season.
Nola Otten, a fall away three in the corner is off. Rebound to Riggs, and here comes Dowling in transition. It's Lynch getting it over to Stillwell. It's Stillwell, Lynch, Ballou, Riggs, and Keogh. The five right now for Dowling Catholic. Jackson Smith tipping the ball to Nola Otten. Jordan Cum, also Braden Brecken Manis, and Ron Momoya.
Oh, a lazy pass here.
Ankeny. And we got Stillwell. That's an offensive foul. My opinion, the right call, as he did use the elbow to cause some separation going to the basket.
And that's where you just see the quick feet of Jordan Cum. I mean, Stillwell just really had nothing to do with it. As soon as he made his move to the basket, Cum was right there. It doesn't matter if you're set. He had position there.
So far, a 4-2 ball game. 2 lead changes, a tie with 3:22 remaining first quarter. Ankeny trying to tie this ball game up, or could take a lead with a triple. Right now the ball in the hands of Ryan Crandall. First time he's into the ball game. Jackson Smith into the backcourt, getting the loose ball. He'll drive the lane between multiple defenders. Ballou blocks it on the baseline. And here comes Dowling. Stillwell down the lane. He gets blocked by Otten. And Ankeny the other way. It's a 3-on-1. Jackson Smith to the cup. We're tied.
That's the type of tempo that Ankeny wants to play. It was exactly into their hands. Once they got the run out, it became a 4-on-1. No chance.
Second tie of the ball game. Tied at 4, 2:35 remaining first quarter. Ballou with it in the corner. Kicks it over to Stillwell. Drives with the right hand. Kicks it out to Keogh. Catch and shoot three. Money.
Brought a lot of defense in, and once Stillwell penetrated, kicks it out to Keogh. It's a wide open look. He'll finish that. Most of the time he gets that look.
Dowling regaining the lead, 7-4 with 2:13 remaining first quarter. It's Jackson Smith operating near the right wing. Swings it over to Otten, and now the left wing and Cum. He'll get a screen from Otten. Will spin on the inside, loses the ball. Here's Stillwell, and an underhanded pass, and a runaway finish, two-handed dunk. That's going to Lynch.
Cum a little bit shaky as he comes up. Now it looks like he's just fine as he takes to the hoop. Really weird angle as he lost that ball dribbling before on the spin move. Kind of looked like his foot and knee kind of all buckled underneath him, but looks like he's okay now.
Matt Stillwell with the foul on the floor. It'll be a inbound out of bounds, and for Matt Stillwell, that's number 2. This is the team's leading scorer, second leading rebounder on the Pine with 2 fouls.
So the last couple times we had a foul on the floor, immediately coming out, off the inbounds. There's been an off-the-ball foul on Ankeny, which is kind of interesting. It's a physical game, and they'll pick something like that out. But we're going to start to see right now the fouls are starting to add up. It's just the first quarter. We've already seen 7 team fouls between the two teams. We might see some of the players that we wanted to see tonight start to get to find a spot on the bench.
Just like we saw in the girls' game, Dowling with 5 fouls here in the first quarter. 1:45 in the opening frame. It's Dowling 9, Ankeny 4. Riggs, floater, over. Ankeny is no good. And a great job by Ryan Crandall on the defense and getting the rebound.
You noticed early on a concerted effort to get the ball inside to Riggs.
Jackson Smith going down into a crowded lane, and it looks like he drew a foul. Is it in the act of shooting? No.
Not yet.
Next foul, though, does get Ankeny into the single bonus.
Well, that's part of that quickness in the guard court that we talked about. A lot of hand checking by Dowling, try to keep him away from the basket.
Jackson Smith working on Omaha Ballou, pulls up from the right elbow, and it's good.
Smith over the much taller Ballou. And here you see a lot of pressure from Ankeny. Starting to show a little bit more full court pressure as well, but that stutter got Ballou off the ball just a little bit. And man, Jackson, when he goes up in the air, he hangs. It's a quick release when he gets it up there.
Matt Stickrod picking up the foul for Ankeny. Just the third personal on the Hawks compared to 6 for Dowling. It's the Maroons 9, Hawks 6, 1:10 remaining here opening quarter. Ball into the hands of Stracco. They will get it. Angle left to Ballou. Down on the inside to Riggs. His turnaround, and it flips it in.
Yeah, Riggs, a nice job going around Simonson. Kind of, the elbow comes out, but not enough to hook, and a nice move. And when he can go turn to his left, shoot with his right, very smooth-looking shot.
Hawks back on half-court offense, looking at a 1-3-1 zone, trailing 11-6, 41 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Ball loose on the baseline. They're going to say last touch by Joe Stracco. This kid, Stracco, I was looking up some stuff on him, didn't play much last year, and is
he gets it up there, good jump shot, smooth looking shot.
You want to talk about a guy you want at the line, it's Jackson Smith. This young man, broadcaster's jinx right there, but this is a young man who hit 2 free throws to force overtime and then won the game with free throws. I apologize for him missing the first and second now.
You got him.
It's terrible. I got a terrible broadcaster's jinx going on right now. Sorry, Jackson. My apologies,
you can tell he looked up you. He looked up here at you right now.
Did he really? He's a 77% free throw shooter, and he goes 1 for 3 that time down. 11-7 is the score. 3/4 court shot off to the right, and Matt Riedel will end the quarter. Dowling leading the Ankeny Hawks 11-7. We'll take a break and be back to the Hawks Nest after this. You're listening to CIML Basketball here on CISN.TV.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
It's just here to the Hawks Nest. 11-7 is our score. In case you missed the first quarter, Dowling's Ryan Riggs with 6 points, all of them really on the interior. This is a game that has featured 3 lead changes and 2 ties. Dowling with an 11-7 lead after one. Andy, your thoughts on the first quarter?
Well, I think tempo-wise, there's been moments that it's favored Dowling. There's been moments that it's favored Ankeny. You see from the Maroons a really concerted effort to get the ball into Ryan Riggs and give him a chance to use his height advantage, and he's been able to finish so far, and also the key for him is he's been able to stay out of foul trouble. Jackson Smith, as that quarter wore on, realizing that Ankeny needs to find an offensive weapon, Jackson Smith rose to the occasion, and he's really started to make stuff happen with that pull-up jump shot, staying out of the lane, smart on his part, keeping that 15 to 19-foot range.
Starting the second quarter, Omaha Blue with a nice feed to Matt Reidel. Great cut by Reidel. 13-7 is the West Des Moines Dowling lead, and the ball loose at half court.
I love it.
And great effort. Sees Ankeny get the ball. Brecken Manis takes contact in the lane, up for 2.
Yeah, took it all the way through. It's Ryan Crandall. Actually, again, those numbers tough to find, but yeah, Crandall battles through a lot of contact. Nothing called, but he's able to finish. Then a touch foul called down here.
Thank you for the assist there, Andy. It was Ryan Crandall, and this kid, a sophomore, maybe doesn't look like it in the body, but this kid, a bright future for the Ankeny Hawks.
For a sophomore, you can tell he's been in the weight room. He's out there. He's pretty built. I've always wondered, I'm not an official, play one on TV. I don't quite understand contact, how it can happen, something very major and then something little called. It's never been something I've been able to figure out.
Inbound, go. And Matt Reidel. Shot no good by Ballou, and here comes Ankeny in transition, down 4. Crandall getting it over to the right side. Jackson Smith hanging out in the corner, will dribble back to the wing. Now passing it to the left side. Back to the top of the key. Ankeny keeping it along the arc, down by 4, 13-9. Jackson Smith getting it over to Brecken Manis. Now back to Smith, sizing up. Ryan Crandall, he'll drive with the left hand, kicks it in the corner to Manis. He'll drive the lane and gets it out. Lefty finger roll is off for Strickrod, and a rebound to Dowling. Omaha Ballou in the lane trying to stop the loose ball, and it is Ballou stepping out of bounds. Ankeny's ball. They're going to have to go the length of the floor.
Did I miss a second foul on Jordan Cum somewhere? Does he have 2? He's been on the bench for quite a while.
I only have 1, but
okay, well, and that it comes back to where his leg kind of buckled underneath him down here. He came out on the next substitution, hasn't been back in. He's still sitting on the bench. I didn't know if I missed a second foul there or not. It's interesting him not being in the game right now. Of course, it's so early in the year. If anything happens, you don't want to take any chances on anything, but he's had a little extended break on the bench here.
He is the second scoring option with Braxton Bayless out for Ankeny. A 3 by Crandall off the dribble is off, and a rebound going to Dowling. They bring it into the front court in their black road uniforms, leading 13-9. 6:18 remaining second quarter. Riggs will dribble to the wing, gets it to the Ballou high post, and nearly lost the ball. Stracco will dribble it from the corner to the top of the key. Now Stillwell pulls up inside the free throw line, in and out. Ballou with the rebound. Ball is loose, and it's into the hands of Ankeny. Jackson Smith in transition, and he will sidestep the defender. Can't finish the bucket. And we will see the foul is going to be on the floor.
Starting down here, Ballou, he gets that offensive rebound, but he immediately takes it down, and that's where all those hands that shorter Ankeny team's able to become disruptive, give them the run-out opportunity, and Smith finds himself once again right here at the free throw line where he's quite comfortable when you're not talking about him there.
And I'm not going to talk about him. We're gonna leave that alone with 5:53 remaining second quarter. Smith's first one is off to the right. I didn't even talk about him this time. 1 for 4 tonight for Jackson Smith. This is a young man coming into the ball game who was 13 of 17. He had 4 misses all year. He has 3 missed here in the first half.
That's crazy stat right now. A little bit of confusion out here on the floor. I think the official signal 1-on-1. I think the scoreboard operator thought it was a 2-shot foul and blew the horn when Dowling got the defensive rebound.
Body contact at the top of the key, and Brecken Mann.
Ankeny foul is on number 21, Brecken Mann. His second. It is team foul number 5.
Gives Ankeny a lot better chance underneath the hoop.
Speaking of pulling Riggs away from the basket, he was on the right baseline, stepped out. It's Ankeny ball with 4:43 remaining in the half, and it is Dowling 15, Ankeny 12.
You see Dowling on defense have really extended a lot of stuff out with their taller guys with a height advantage right now. They're able to really play things.
Simon Daniel for Dowling.
He probably had time to come down and come back up. There was no one left around him when he got the offensive board.
Ball is tipped, and the deflection off Dowling. It's Ankeny ball with 4:12 remaining here in the first half.
Another turnover. Those are starting to add up here for the Maroons. That was a key to the game. They didn't want to be turning the ball over, and it hasn't hurt them. It hasn't led to a ton of run-out points, but it's certainly an issue so far.
All the turnovers, it seems that Ankeny is in. With it near the right wing. He'll dribble back to the top of the key. Ball is going to be poked away, and this is Keogh trying to drive the lane, and he's going to take contact, misses the shot, but heading to the line.
Keogh so quick. He defensive back on the football team. Just I probably overused this term a lot tonight, but another one of those savvy players that just finds his way into the passing lanes and takes them away. They're nothing fancy, just a routine pass between players, gets a hand in, deflects it, and finds himself down court.
Making the first one, Keogh with a season-high 3 points against Des Moines Roosevelt. Had 8 total points all of last season. He's at least getting some valuable minutes and contributing in spots.
Jordan Cumm has checked back into the game for Ankeny. See, looks to be moving okay right now, but he's such an explosive.
Catch and shoot 3. Manis is left short, and the long rebound down to Riedel. In transition, ball shot blocked at the cup, but they're going to call a body foul.
It's interesting. Dowling looking to run off the rebound. They beat everybody down court. A 4-on-1 fast break. Don't see that too much against Ankeny.
So Mamua picking up his first foul with 3:17 remaining in the half. Dowling up 5, looking to add to their lead. And Rydell, silky smooth on that one. Right out now with 3.
Yep. Yep, that's okay. Hold on. Yeah, the sound isn't very good. I don't really have it fixed, so it is what it is. We'll just go with the high camera.
Over to Crannell. Otten catch and shoot 3 straight away is off. Rebound down to Rydell, and here comes Dowling in transition. Rydell to the cup, and he is going to be fouled on a dunk attempt.
I think they're going to get Otten. I believe that's his second as well. It's, you know, these long three-pointers, Ankeny right now, I'm not sure they want to be taking all the three-pointers that they are, but it's kind of all that's available to them, leading to a
opportunities that are not materializing because of all those dead ball turnovers we've been talking about.
And just the settling for shots out here.
Agreed.
They're Dowling overplaying everything on defense, knowing they've got that rim protected with their tall bodies, and really playing into the Maroons' hands right now.
21-12 right now is the score, as Rydell cans a couple more. Jackson Smith near the left wing. He will find his way on the inside, outside to come, catch and shoot 3. And I think Cum sold the foul just a little bit. That infraction is going to be charged to Omaha Ballou, the freshman.
There may have been contact, but I've seen Jordan.
Jordan Cum will go to the line to shoot 3.
Part of this 3-0 start.
They might want to check that height of the rim right now down here, because the Hawks really struggling from the free throw. I mean, shooting in general tonight, but especially very uncharacteristic the way they've shot from the free throw line. They can't be 50% for the game.
They are 1 of 6 at the moment.
All right.
From the charity stripe. Jordan Cum, 1 of 3.
Little defensive extension here.
And there's going to be a timeout for Coach Mike O'Connor. We'll stay here with 2:24 remaining second quarter. To be honest with you, Andy, I think that the Hawks, despite struggling mightily on offense, have to feel pretty good where they're at because of how much time Jordan Cum has been out and the fact that they aren't able to run the offense that they want to run.
With the pace of this game right now, 8 points feels like a lot, though. As we've seen the scoring tonight, that Dowling's done a really nice job controlling the tempo of things so far. And you notice right there, Ankeny trying to pick things up a little bit off the make, set up the full court pressure. Dowling not recognized it, forced Coach O'Connor to call timeout. But they're going to really try to extend things now and really try to pick up that pressure. But they got to make baskets to create that full court press as well. And now they back off it after the timeout.
Ryan Riggs right now leads all scorers with 8 points. Jackson Smith for Ankeny, team leading 7. It's 21-13 Dowling, 2:15 remaining second quarter, as it is Rydell sinking another jump shot.
And he might have got a little bit of a shove off on Manis to create a little space, but another smooth-looking jump shot for Rydell.
Biggest lead of the night for Dowling. It's double digits, 1:58 remaining second quarter. Right of the lane, the floater up and good for Jackson Smith.
You know, earlier in the night, I think Jackson looked a lot more comfortable taking that shot. That time just maybe a little bit rushed. It wasn't quite centered up as a lot of his shots have been. They're altering a lot of shots right now down low for the Maroons.
Too easy on the inside is Keogh dribbling on the baseline and a reverse lay-in on the block. 25-15 our score, 90 seconds remaining in the half. A wild shot by Otten is no good. McManus's shot blocked at the cup off of McManus's nose, and it is Dowling basketball.
You see Ryan Riggs there with significant height advantage once again. He's got about a 8-inch advantage over Manus as he took it underneath, and nice move by Riggs to save it off his face coming out of bounds. A six-pack in volleyball there.
Rydell, what a pass to Daniel. His shot blocked away by Otten.
Otten, great defense.
Smith up the floor. Finishing off glass and one.
That's the type of game the Hawks want to get into right now. The quick block on one end leads to the run out, 2-on-1 fast break, and I can't imagine two guys in this conference that you'd much rather have leading your break than Cum and Smith.
Jordan Cum coming into tonight, a 69% free throw shooter, 18 of 26, and he's able to can the old-fashioned three-point play. 25-18, exactly a minute remaining in the first half. Dowling up by 7.
Now, Dowling's built this lead without their leading scorer, Matthew Stillwell. This is pretty much the whole second quarter.
Riggs finding Daniel, catch and shoot three, right wing is off, and an offensive foul as Lech just going over the top, and great positioning by Jordan Cum.
Yeah, he found himself, Cum, like you said, great position there. Lynch reaching up with one hand and not realizing been in that situation before, using that offhand to kind of feel your way around, and definitely extended the left hand to get the foul. Has a nice little conversation with himself as he walks back down the court.
We are in the
mini
double
run for the Hawks here as we end the quarter, the half.
This is big, a double bonus opportunity for Cum, and after missing his first two, he's hit 3 in a row. 25-19, Dowling's lead. Jordan Cum off the back iron, gets his own rebound, and second opportunity blocked away by Daniel, and Dowling down with the ball. 36 ticks remaining in the second quarter. And
I saw that they signaled they want to go for one. You can't hold it for 40 seconds against Ankeny's defense.
Jackson Smith with a run out and a finger roll finish at the cup.
Yeah, you can't be content to hold the ball at the top of the key. They extend and way too quick, and you see this. It's an 8-0 run for the Hawks, or 6-0 run, at the end of the quarter here.
And on-ball defense just a little too aggressive, according to the officials, and Brecken Manis is going to pick up his third personal.
That's a big one, too. 13 seconds left in the half. He's out. That's what they've been forced to do, though. They're out there extending their defense, keep it out of the post, and sometimes you just get a little too physical.
Matt Riedel having himself a big second quarter, 8 points, all coming in this frame. 1-and-1 opportunity, in and out, and the rebound down on the baseline, tapped out, I believe, by Nola Otten of Ankeny.
Now it looked, Lynch used a little spin move to get around. I actually thought it was off him, but the official right there said no, it's one of those that there's some contact, not enough to call a foul, but then if you give it to the other team, then you say there's contact, so they end up giving the ball back to the Maroons.
11.6 showing on the first half clock. Dowling up by 4 with possession on their offensive baseline. Riggs over to Stillwell. And Stillwell, they're going to call a foul away from the ball, I think on Nolan Otten.
That's a third one on him.
It is. And again, these 3 fouls are coming with under 15 seconds remaining. These are killers right now for the Hawks.
And that's just the way that Otten has to play right now against a much taller Riggs. But in that situation, you just got to kind of back off, give up the 2 points, not worth the foul at that point.
Ryan Riggs, a career 59% free throw shooter. Too hard off the back iron.
Okay, the board is saying 2 fouls on Otten, but
yeah, it's a double bonus.
Right, but two fouls on him though.
Oh, 2 fouls. My apologies.
I thought, and I had 3.
That's
they
good
got him
for
out
Ankeny.
quick. Yes, for sure.
Riggs, second one. Silky. 26-21, final seconds of the first half. Jackson Smith, step back, is going to be blocked at the buzzer. Matt Riedel, with a good first half. And after 2 quarters of play, Dowling 26, It's Ankeny 21. Paul Yeager is going to be coming back on with a halftime interview.
He's got Coach Mack from Ankeny ready to go.
Fantastic. So we will step aside. Appreciate you being a part of the broadcast tonight as you are listening to CIML basketball on the Central Iowa Sports Network, CISN TV.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. It's kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Employee pricing for all at Schuckenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Cruise. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schuckenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Coach for the Ankeny Hawks tonight. Coach 4-1 coming in, good start. But man, you got a brutal 3 games here all of a sudden, and you know you get a good Dowling team. What are you trying to accomplish? I mean, of course you want to win all the time, but what are you looking for in this stretch right now?
Well, it's such a long season, Paul, and we're kind of a mixed team where we got a lot of seniors, but we don't necessarily have a ton of playing or starting experience or playing significant minutes. So we're still trying to find our identity, especially at the defensive end. You just got to keep big picture in mind. We knew tonight was going to be tough. Some things didn't go our way the first half. We didn't respond overly well, both mentally and physically. I thought second half we did a better job of that. And then, like you said, we got to turn around and play the number 1 team in the state on Tuesday. So we got 0 time to feel sorry for ourselves. And, 24-hour rule. Think about this one. Let it soak in and hurt a little bit, and that's okay. And then turn around and have a great practice this weekend and Monday and get ready for Polk.
All right, so you got Kayla Pitts, the senior. She's kind of really going to have to be the one that carries you tonight. 14's her average. She hits 14. What do you need out of her?
Well, first of all, she's had a really good start to the year, and I think it's helped having her sister play the point guard, and Kayla can now focus on playing without the ball. And she's doing multiple things. She's shooting it well. She was really good off the dribble tonight, attacking and finishing, and we just need her to keep stepping up and not only scoring the ball, but just being a leader on our team at both ends of the floor. She has a wealth of experience playing for us, so we just really need other girls to rally behind her with her positive leadership.
So Jenna and Kayla, I mean, that's something they probably haven't had a chance to play on the same team together for a while, wearing the school colors.
Yeah.
That's something you always – I think it's different with boys and girls when they've got siblings on the team. What is that like that you have to deal with a little something extra sometimes when it gets to be the siblings?
Well, the really cool part is they just have such a feel for each other, and they always know where each other's going to be. Once in a while we'll catch them in practice. Kayla getting on Jenna a little bit, but that's good. She's pushing her, and she wants her to be better. And really there hasn't been anything really that I've had to do as far as them being either too hard on each other or whatnot. It's been I think they have a really special bond, and it's fun to be around on a daily basis.
Well, I've always liked the hustle of Ashley Harrington, another senior. She just is. Height's not on her side, but man, she absolutely gives it all every time she touches the basketball.
I don't know of too many girls in the state of Iowa that play with more heart on a nightly basis than Ashley Harrington. Obviously, she's a Division I all-state soccer player, tremendous soccer player. We're just thankful she comes out for basketball, and what you see on game night is what we see every day in practice, so it's no surprise to us.
The practice is so important here early on. You've been practicing since November, and then all of a sudden, you had the good game with Mason City, and then you had 3 games where it was like, okay, we get some confidence.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to go back to the first question. You have Southeast Polk Tuesday, Urbandale Friday, after playing Dowling tonight. It's an opportunity, is how you kind of have to talk about it with the girls. It's an opportunity
to see a reaction of those players I talked about that maybe are a senior or junior but don't have a wealth of actual playing big minutes for us, of how they're going to respond, not only from a basketball perspective, but just where are they mentally? How locked in are they? How do they handle pressure? How do they handle adversity? And that was probably the one bad thing tonight, was I didn't think the first half we handled adversity very well. But I was proud of the way we responded the second half and fought a little harder. So
there's no magic coaching formula when you've seen blank faces in a game before.
Yeah.
There's always that. Are you yelling? Are you quiet? Are you you have to figure out which buttons work, because each team is different.
Yeah, this team, I had a team 2 years ago that, I got after quite a bit, and I've tried not to do that as much. Maybe it's just my getting a little older and calmer, but I'm sure the girls would disagree with that. But no, we just tried to push some buttons at halftime and challenge them, and like I said, they did a better job of responding, because at the end of the day, this is game 6 and it's a long season.
Yeah.
So I think literally our last regular season game is 2 months from now. I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of basketball. You got to deal with one holiday. You've got Thanksgiving out of the way. Now you got the Christmas break. How are you going to keep them fresh during that break?
We're going to give them about 5-6 days off, and then we'll come back, I think, the 27th. And we go in the mornings, and it's kind of a time to restart. And you can go back to a little longer practices and push them a little harder. They got all day to recover. They don't have school. You can get some new stuff in, because you get in this 3-4 week stretch where you're basically, when you play Tuesday, Friday, it's a lot of game planning, and it's hard to put new stuff in because you're getting ready for your opponent. So it's a nice time of the year to get some new stuff in and get ready for the stretch run in January, February.
And that's when it matters most, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Mac, thank you, man.
Thank you so much for all you guys do for high school sports.
Appreciate Drew McAnally, head girls basketball coach for the Ankeny Hawks. We'll take a quick break. Nate and Andy will have the second half. Dowling leads Ankeny 26-21. Back in a moment here on CISN.TV.
Employee pricing for all at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Cruise. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Waukee Chevy.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Hawks Nest, second half action about 3 minutes away from now. It's the Dowling Catholic Maroons up on the Ankeny Hawks 26-21. Alongside Andy Pollock, my name is Nate Goner. A low-scoring first half, and at times it was very physical, Andy, but after what would it be, 16 minutes, your thoughts?
It was kind of a spurty type of half, to use that word. I don't know if that's a word at all or not, but it was spurty. I mean, you saw Dowling control the tempo for a little while and able to get some things in the half-court game, really get the ball into Riggs. He was very quiet as the second quarter went on. Didn't see much from him at all. I think part of that had to do with Stillwell sitting on the bench in foul trouble. Stillwell's really the penetrate and dish type of guy for the Maroons. So with him on the bench, you saw a lot more penetration, shots being made from Ankeny. They were able to get to the free throw lines where they were able to get back in the game as the half went on, and also they were able to get some buckets in transition. You know, again, spurty. I think Dowling got up by 10 and saw Ankeny get it down to about a 3-point game we in the half. 5-point lead for the Maroons. So just, I think, exactly what we talked about in the pregame, whoever controls the tempo wins the game, and we've seen exactly that. When Maroons have controlled the tempo, they're getting the buckets, they're getting the points, they're getting the lead. Ankeny battles back in it by getting the long rebounds, the runouts, the turnovers. So exactly what we expected to see tonight.
100%. And looking at the first half scoring, both teams having 4 players register at least 2 points. Leading the way on both sides is Jackson Smith. He had a first half high 11 points. On Dowling side, Ryan Riggs with 9. He had 6 in the first quarter. Jackson Smith with 7 of his 11 coming in the first quarter. Guy that really impressed me in the second half on Dowling side, Matt Rydell, young man came out 8 points in the half, 4 for 4 from the line, and did some nice things on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, he's a long body. He's sitting out there. He's probably about 6'4" and a long wingspan. So, you know, being able to be disruptive, got a couple turnovers. He's one of the guys getting a lot of rebounds as well. And then, you know, the beneficiary of some of those backdoor cuts, finding some guys wide open, got some looks, got a couple at the free throw line as well.
As we look towards the second half, let's start on Ankeny's side. Down 5, What do they need to do in order to close the gap and potentially be there at the end to win it?
You saw them toy with a press as the second quarter went on. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see more of that. They just want to get this tempo going, make quick passes, make the Maroons a little more uncomfortable with some of the things that they're doing. On the Dowling side, find Ryan Riggs back. Get the ball down low to him. Early on he was able to catch that ball on the block, quick moves to his left. As the half went on, we didn't see much of him. We're not able to get the ball to him. So with Stillwell back in the game, I think you'll see a lot more Ryan Riggs as well. Those guys play off each other very well.
Ankeny trying to move to 4-0 on the season. Dowling with a win tonight would be their third straight and improve them to 3-1. Dowling coming back on the court for the second half. They got Stillwell, Stracco, Riggs, also Drew Daniel, and Matt Rydell. Ankeny still waiting for them to get out of the huddle. It is Otten, Cum, Jackson Smith, Brecken Manis, and Ron Mamua. It'll be Ankeny to inbound near sideline in the home white uniforms. Gray numerals with the little bit of a maroon trim. On the other side, Dowling with the road black uniforms, white numerals, and the maroon trim. 26-21 is the lead for Dowling. Brecken Manis opening up the scoring, though, for Ankeny.
You notice Stillwell being a little cautious on the defensive end, made that way too easy for Manis.
Bounce pass on the inside to Riggs. He throws up a shot. It misses, and a rebound to come. In transition is Ankeny. Manis with the crossover, finishing at the cup. No. Rebound to Stracco and Dowling. Maroons in the half court offensively, up 26-23. 45 seconds gone, third quarter. Right now, angle right. Matt Stillwell, the Stracco, top of the key. Handoff, going to Rydell. He'll dribble past his defender. Shot no. And a rebound to Otten. Ankeny with a chance to tie with a three. This would tie it. And it is off. Missing everything, Jackson Smith. Dowling in transition. Matt Stillwell kicking it out. Extra pass. It's Stracco for three. No. And an over and back foul will be charged to Ryan Riggs of Dowling.
Yeah, Mamua, for Ankeny. Really good position. Riggs trying to keep his body away and reach over the top, but Mamua is such good position down there on the defensive glass. Gets really kind of impressive because Riggs has had some issues of foul trouble in the past. Just picked up only his first foul here in the third quarter.
Comes with 6:35 remaining third quarter. Ankeny with a chance to tie with the three or get within one. 26-23, Dowling's lead. Manis, offensive foul, using the right shoulder to cause separation, and a good job by Matt Stillwell standing his ground and taking it.
I actually thought when the whistle got blown, I really thought we were going to see another foul on Stillwell. Probably a situation, I think a no call would have been okay there, but as far as Stillwell went fine, and maybe Manis and Stillwell have met up before on the football field.
Well, and Manis just picked up his fourth. So, you talk about, a play. It would have affected Stillwell just as much, but Manis now has to sit on the pine for Ankeny. Riggs driving inside and finishing at the cup.
And there's just nothing Mamua can do about that. Riggs gets that ball in his offhand, is able to keep it away from everybody. You really need some offside help to reach in to keep it away if he's going to keep it that far away from his body.
Riggs matching his season high of 11, scored both against Valley and Des Moines Roosevelt. 28-23 Dowling, 5:53 remaining third quarter. Smith to come on the right side of the arc. Come pulls up right of the lane, it is off, and a rebound. Down to Stillwell and Dowling. Outlet pass up the floor to Rydell. To Riggs, and good ball movement. Catch and shoot three, and that is silky.
You mentioned earlier just that extra pass. A chance down in the corner for Stracco to have that shot. He gives it up, kicks it out to Daniel, and Daniel, that's just wide open.
When you share the sugar, sweet results tend to happen. That was a sweet play there by Daniel to make that three. And Jordan Cum on the ensuing offensive possession unforced turnover and a timeout for the Dowling Catholic, for Ankeny. Comes with 5:13 remaining third quarter. We'll keep it here. It's an 8-point lead right now for the Dowling Catholic Maroons, and we do have some boys scores from across the area.
A couple scores tonight. The closest one going on right now, Centennial at halftime leading Johnston. For those of you from Ankeny that are watching us tonight, Ankeny Centennial over Johnston at the half. We did have a final from the girls game from that earlier as well. Johnston came back and beat Centennial. The final there, 47-44. In Urbandale tonight, Ames leads Urbandale 19-12. Mason City trailing Valley right now 48-29. And Waukee having a great start to the year. They lead Fort Dodge right now 43-15. That is at halftime as well.
Out of the timeout, full court pressure from Ankeny and inbound to Stillwell from Daniel. And he will dribble up against man-to-man pressure from Mamua. And driving the lane is Stillwell. Mamua with the foul.
Yeah, Mamua just too much contact from behind. If that play is allowed to go out, Otten probably draws the charge on Stillwell, and Stillwell has a seat on the bench, but just a lot of contact from Mamua there at the top of the circle.
Dowling to inbound with Stracco on the baseline. Gets it to the top of the key. And Daniel. Ball is going to be stolen away by Mamua, and then a pass too high for Jordan Cum, and it'll be Ankeny back on defense, trailing by 8, 31-23 to their Central Division foe, Dowling.
Really on that last play, Daniel's got to take that ball to the hoop. He comes in, and he's got a huge height advantage in there. He opts to kick it out where there's a lot shorter players and gets a turnover.
Stracco kicking it in the corner. Catch and shoot three is off for Rydell. And a rebound to Cum and Ankeny. He'll take it inside himself. Blocking foul. Can't get the shot to go. But Jordan Cum to the line for two.
No one stopped the ball at the top of the key. Cum was able to dribble down all the way. No one even attempted to stop him. Then right at the end, you saw Stracco recognize that, slid over just too late. Good recognition by Cum to say, hey, if no one's going to stop me, I'll take that thing all the way to the hoop.
Jordan Cum sinking the first one, nothing but net.
One thing is first time I've seen Dowling this year, but they use 8-9 guys on the bench, and that's going to be a big advantage as the wear and tear of a season goes on as well. They're getting a lot of guys experience.
Jordan Cum getting both free throws to go. He's up to 7 points. And the Hawks within 6, 31-25, 4:30 and counting third quarter. Stillwell dribbling against McManus in between the legs. He'll muscle his way to the cup, left-handed finger roll.
That is such a sweet move by Stillwell. Kind of made everybody think he was going to his right. Goes back in and goes up with his offhand, and just a sweet kiss off the glass.
That is Stillwell's first points of the ball game. Ensuing possession off the dribble. Smith missing a three, and a 3-on-2 the other way. Keogh takes body contact in the lane and will head to the line.
Once again on the other end, Keogh able to take it off the rebound, takes it all the way to the other end, able to get all the way to the hoop with no one attempting to stop him. There's got to be some defensive recognition on the Hawks to at least try to slow him down somewhere around the top of the circle.
5 first half points for Keogh, make it 6 now as he makes the first. 3 for 3 at the charity stripe for the senior 5'10" Michael Keogh.
Maroons have been very good at the free throw line tonight.
It's back up to a 10-point lead for Dowling, the biggest of the night, and they extend a 2-3 zone, as Ankeny comes on the offensive end. Smith will drive the baseline, wave off the shot. Omaha Ballou a step slow to take away the baseline, and he's heading to the bench.
He had just come back in the game, and now he's going back to take a seat. It's a mismatch. I know they've got him on him, and they'd like to think that Ballou can keep up with Smith, but they get him drawn so far away from the basket. That's a tough matchup for the freshman.
Otten, an overhead pass, top of the key, gets it to Crandall. He'll pull up from the free throw line. Silky.
Yeah, nice looking shot for Crandall. Those were the shots early on in the game that were falling for the Hawks, and they've gone a little bit chilly here lately.
35-27, an 8-point advantage for Dowling Catholic. And Stillwell, they're going to call a double Oh, they're going to call a foul on the Hawks. I think you almost could have called a foul on Stillwell as he wrapped his arm around the Ankeny defender as he was driving in.
Just ended up being a big mismatch in the favor of the Maroons. No one recognized in the corner at all. No one recognized that Daniel was standing wide open in the corner. He's able to drain it. Total confusion on the Hawks defense.
Rydell into double figures with 11, and that's the lead right now for the Dowling Catholic Maroons, 38-27, 3:10 and counting, third quarter. Keeping the ball along the arc is Ankeny. Now driving the baseline, Jordan Cum, and his shot blocked away. And Matt Rydell have been very impressed by this young man, a 6'3 junior, inserted into the starting lineup this season and is taking advantage of those starter minutes.
Well, when that started, there's good recognition by Dowling on defense because Cum from the other side realized there's no one between him and the basket, puts that head down, goes right to it, and just like that, a swarm of Maroons in to keep him away from the hoop.
Inbound from Otten coming on the baseline. He'll get it in the corner. Cum's shot is going to be blocked away by Daniel, and here come the Maroons in transition. 3-on-3. And it is going to be deflected. And Rydell trying to whip a pass to the left corner to Simon Daniel, deflected out of bounds.
Yeah, that's exactly how you teach the defense on the 3-2 fast break. Simonson at the top, another defender at the bottom. As that ball goes down to the wing, he drops in, and that cuts away the pass to the opposite end, able to disrupt everything in the Maroons offense. Exactly how you teach it from a young age.
And Ankeny nearly coming up with a turnover. Ryan Crandall.
The official had to take some time to look things over at the end to see exactly who that went off of before it went out of bounds.
Well, Ryan Crandall, credit him for the great effort play on the far sideline.
Yeah, Crandall, we're going to hear a lot more about him in a couple different sports, I think, as his career goes on.
Matt Stillwell working with it in between the circles. He'll drive the lane, shot off to the right, and a great rebounding position by Ankeny, and there's going to be a over and back call against Ryan Riggs.
Those are the fouls that Ryan Riggs, if he wants to get meaningful minutes and continue to be a sought-after basketball player, he can't have fouls like that, and just understand when is the time to back off and just get down to the other end of the court.
Completely agree with you, Andy, as right now the Maroons up 11, 38-27, their biggest lead of the night. Hawks Noah Otten kicking it out to Cum. He'll drive from the right wing, and Cum throws it on the baseline. It's out of bounds to Dowling.
Well, Cum's driving in. He really doesn't have a plan. There's really nothing to do with it. He's taking it into the trees, like you mentioned earlier. There's just nowhere to go with the ball, and, you know, there's contact, but the argument right now is he's probably not under control when he gets into the lane.
Ankeny showing a little bit of man-to-man pressure as Keogh brings us into the offensive end for the Maroons. Dowling up 38-27, 2:08 remaining third quarter. And a body foul to be charged to Ankeny senior Jordan Cum.
Comes so quick, he gets his feet over it, cuts him off, and, you know, again, the official said there's just enough contact that he's got to call it, but, man, Cum knows on defense where he's going. I think a lot of times before the guy with the on offense knows where he's going with it.
Dowling inbounds on the baseline, gets it back to Stillwell, top of the key. Closely guarded by Ryan Crandall. Now Stillwell driving the right baseline, kicks it out, catch and shoot three is off for Rydell.
Great look.
Rebound Ankeny.
Great look. Stillwell drew everybody to the far end of the court.
Crandall can't finish, and the rebound fought for. Here comes Dowling, a 2-on-1. Stillwell calling his own number, finishing with the finger roll.
Yeah, that 2-on-1, that's so tough on Smith. Back there kind of in no man's land. He can't take away the ball. He got himself so far under the hoop. Very difficult on the defender.
40-27 as Dowling's lead continues to increase. Smith will drive down to the left block. He'll pull up, and the 6-footer sunk. And we've got a timeout, a full. We'll step aside as it is Ankeny trailing Dowling 40-29. You're listening to CIML Basketball on CISN TV.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today. Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessed.
And we welcome you back here to the Hawks Nest, Ankeny High School. The Dowling Catholic Maroons to inbound, going the length of the floor. They are right now up 11. Leading the way, Ryan Riggs and Matt Rydell with 11 points each for Dowling. On the other side, 13 for Jackson Smith.
Smith, that was the first bucket that he's had in quite a while here, but just, again, so smooth when he goes up.
11 of the 13 coming in the first half for Smith, who's defending right now. Drew Daniel at the top of the key. Matt Rydell taking contact as he enters the lane. And a foul called.
Otten again.
That is Otten.
He's a guy they need to have in the game. He's really the lone big body out there.
And catch and shoot opportunity, no good for Dowling, and it is Ryan Riggs smartly throwing the ball off the shin of Ankeny, and they keep possession.
Riggs is so long, his arm kind of comes out of nowhere, you see, to grab that basketball and whip it off the Hawk.
Riley McWilson poking that ball away. Great pursuit on defense. McWilson, a 6'1 senior. And there's going to be an offensive foul charged to Dowling before they even get the ball inbounded.
We've had a lot of those tonight, a lot of those fouls away from the ball on inbounds plays, and I haven't been paying close enough attention to what's going on. I'll have to keep an eye on that as the fourth quarter goes on.
Matt Rydell picking up his second, 40-29. Final 35 seconds here in the third quarter as Jackson Smith driving from the right wing. Catch and shoot three blocked by Rydell as Jordan Cum rises and misses. And we've got a foul upcoming against Ankeny.
I think they got Cum after his shot was blocked. And, man, we're going to sit through a fourth quarter. A lot of free throws here tonight. Gets Dowling in the bonus.
So it's a 1-and-1 the rest of the way for Dowling at the line. Matt Rydell, 8 of his 11 coming in the first half.
That was Cum's fourth, so a couple Hawks now will play the fourth quarter with 4 fouls. Those are the scores that they need out there as well.
Rydell cans the first one, granted the second. Right now on the floor for Ankeny, we've got Stickrod, Smith, Crannell, McWilson, and Otten. Rydell hitting both. He's joined on the floor by Daniel, Keogh, Riggs, and Letch. Ankeny down 42-29. Catch and shoot three is off by Stickrod, but Ankeny keeps possession. McWilson will drive with the left hand, throws up a shot, misses everything, but he's heading to the line.
Did they get Daniel or Riggs? I didn't see. They got Riggs. And I'm not sure. They probably could have called on either. I think Riggs with a reach, Daniel with a body. Daniel thought it was on him. Riggs, though, again, another one of those situations. It's too far away from the basket for him to be getting fouls.
Riley McWilson, no points, 3 rebounds. His last time out against Des Moines Lincoln, cans the first.
Dowling just keeps coming at you with waves of players off the bench right now. And pretty fresh and no foul issues so far. They did a good job, a clean third quarter for them. And Ankeny on the other end got some guys into foul trouble, and it makes it tough because you're going to, in a situation like this, you're in foul territory.
It is going to be Daniel taking it all the way, nearly finished at the buzzer. And after 3 quarters of play, it is Dowling 42, Ankeny 30. Back with the 4th and final quarter after this on CISN.TV.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. It's kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
And we welcome you back to the Hawks Nest. Final 8 minutes in this Central Division matchup between Dowling and Ankeny. So far, it has been the Maroons, really, since the first quarter with the lead. We had 3 official lead changes, 2 ties, all in the first. It was Dowling up 26-21 at half, and they are now up by 12 to start the 4th quarter.
Well, it comes back to tempo. That whole tempo of the 3rd quarter controlled by the Maroons.
And the Maroons will get the ball to start the the 4th quarter. Stracco going into the backcourt to retain possession. It is Daniel top of the key. Stracco getting it over to Rydell, to Riggs. Great passing, leads to an easy bucket.
Yeah, nice job by Riggs as he got around Simonson. Just that little skip, able to pull the ball over the top. Easy finish at the hoop.
Right now, ball in the corner to Crandall. 1 dribble, pulls up from the angle, and it's good.
Coach Carlson calling for the press right now. He wants the full court press. Didn't get it communicated to everybody. That was a chance for Ankeny to start to create some more tempo here.
And it is now Rydell backing Wilson in. Entry pass to Riggs is going to be stolen away, and Crandall in transition gets it to Smith. And Smith's shot blocked in the paint. And the rebound taken by Riggs of Dowling.
That was exactly the tempo. That's exactly what Ankeny wants to be doing right now, and just not quite able to finish. All those long arms down there makes it tough.
Riggs. And there's going to be a foul called. And it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity. They are going to get Bialzak, I think is how you pronounce it.
Went with Riggs. He tried to go back to that same type of move he had just used before, pulling it over the top. And they got Simonson not going to fall for it that time. Reached up and kind of grabbed on to him.
So Riggs missing the front end of a 1-and-1 rebound to Ankeny. Down by 11, still time, but they got to get going if they want to really have a shot to be there at the end. And a steal by Stracco as I say that. In transition, Stillwell with a great finish at the cup.
It was the pass from Stracco that created everything. Cross the court, changes all the defensive lanes for everybody.
Smith calling his own number on the right baseline and draws a 2-shot foul.
Smith, the 3rd and 4th quarter so far, has been a little quieter early on, able to rise up above everybody, hit a few shots, but Dowling's done a nice job of being in his face and keeping him away from the basket.
I'm just going to cut down our Christmas.
And again, it has not been a problem to this point for Ankeny, but you wonder if you have a Braxton Bayless inserted into this lineup, how does this game look?
It certainly gives you another offensive weapon, and Bayless is a guy, he's long enough that he can defend the post as well, so that changes things up quite a bit against a team like Dowling.
Ankeny down by 12. Smith trying to get him one closer. And the shot climbs in. Right now, Stracco bringing the ball into the offensive end for Dowling. Great
Man-to-man face guarding by Stickrod. And
we have to
Stillwell's turnaround over
Really-
McWilson
really didn't have time.
is no good. Wanting a foul, didn't get it. Now Smith will cross over and gets to the lane, finishes with the left hand.
Not a good look on the court right now as Smith finishes that up, and he comes out hobbling. Gets around, just blows by everybody at the top of the key, but he landed hard.
And he is in a lot of pain, grabbing at that right ankle. You hate to see it. I don't want any ball player to get hurt, but especially one as talented as Jackson Smith.
Well, he's got the left knee taped up already. It looks like that's the one that he's trying to keep pressure off of right now, and he is definitely in some pain.
Yeah, you can tell. Playing the best defense that he can, basically on one leg. Stracco will spin by his defender, puts it off glass, yes.
Stracco, we haven't seen Dowling give up much height at any spot. He was definitely giving up height to Simonson there and able to get it up really quick.
And Smith off one leg, pulls up from the elbow, can't get it to go. And Smith takes body contact at half court. Looking a little better as he got up that time, but still noticeably limping right now. On the
it's more
defensive
so
end.
when the tempo of the game slows down, he's got to walk around. You can tell he's really favoring it a bunch. One of the things this second half I've been so impressed with the play of Matt Stillwell. He is the difference maker after he had some early foul trouble. Him back in the game has been a game changer for Dowling. Just able to get to the basket, really creates. He's a bigger, thicker guy out there, but he's just as quick as everybody else on the court.
Stillwell heading to the line for the first of potentially two. Making the first, granted the second.
A lot of free throws will be attempted in this fourth quarter.
Stillwell, all of his 7 points coming here in the second half. Battled foul trouble in the first. And he's now up to 8 after making those 2. Ankeny on offense, getting it to come in the corner. His 3 is no good. Nearly poked the ball away from Omaha Blue, but Dowling bringing the rebound down, and a timeout by Coach O'Connor.
He is fired up right now. The whole possession, as Ankeny started to bring a ball up the court, the bench is screaming shooter in the corner, and Cum is spotted up, and he's wide open. Then there was no one in his face. I think they were on Stillwell about it because really they've identified the shooters out here, and Cum is one of the – I think he is the leading scorer, correct, for Ankeny. Standing wide open down in the corner, he gets that shot, and Coach O'Connor wants a timeout right away. He's making sure you have to identify, especially 13-point lead right now. Those guys that can snipe you out from the corner, find those guys out there, and obviously if you're Ankeny, get the ball to those guys.
Yep.
So.
A double-digit lead can evaporate very quickly with the three-point shot. And that's exactly what Coach O'Connor is talking about in his huddle. Out of the timeout, Ankeny trails 50-37. Full court pressure as we got a diamond press out of the Hawks, and Jordan Cum just fouled out of the ball game.
Yeah, that's too early for him, too. He's the guy that was going to help them get back in this ball game, but the ball comes down to the corner, and Jordan's the guy, and he'll pick up early on. A little bit later start to the basketball season with the extension of for the playoffs for football for Cum. But he's just got to kind of know again some of these times when it's all right to lay off, and a super aggressive player makes a lot of stuff happen as well. But 2 or 3 fouls of his come tonight in situations that you just don't need to be doing it.
Yeah, a senior of his caliber would be valuable this final 5:08. Instead, he's on the bench. And Joe Stracco adding to the Maroons' lead.
Stracco, it's the first time I've seen him play, and he's been a fun player to watch tonight for Dowling.
I like the way he facilitates the basketball. 52-37, the biggest lead of the night for Dowling at 15. And it is Stickrod over to Smith, catch and shoot. 3 is off for Smith. Rebound taken by Riggs, and Dowling looks to be slowing things down as we just went under 4:46 remaining fourth quarter, and a 15-point Dowling Catholic lead. Omaha Blues shot wild, missing everything, and Ankeny able to push the ball in transition. Now in the half court, Otten working with it left wing. Nice spin move underneath and draws a foul against Ryan Riggs.
Yeah, found himself some nice green down there as he made the spin move back to his right. Not the direction you'd expect him to go, being a right-handed player.
So
this game, the score probably won't show it. It's actually been a good up-and-down game. We haven't had to sit there through a lot of long possessions. Final score won't show that, but it's been pretty entertaining.
Yeah. For being a 14-point deficit, Ankeny, give them credit. Attitude and effort has been very good tonight. And Otten able to hit both. He's up to 5 points for the Hawks. Matt Stillwell caught in a double team, and he smartly calls timeout.
And they've got plenty of them left, so good decision there, full timeout.
We'll step aside with the Dowling Catholic Maroons leading 52-40. You're listening to CIML Basketball on CISN TV.
Employee pricing for all at Schuckenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Cruise. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schuckenkirk Chevy Waukee. Waukee.
And we welcome you back to the Hawks Nest. It's been a fun evening of high school basketball here in Ankeny. It's been a lot of fun, you could say, for the Dowling Catholic Maroons. They pick up a 25-point win in the girls contest, and, you know, barring a big run here late by Ankeny, they could pick up a doubleheader sweep here in the varsity.
I got here a little bit late for the girls contest. I know there's been a couple girls injured for Ankeny. Was there any discussion as far as when they might be back?
Not that I know of, no. But I tell you what, the Pitt sisters were quite impressive, and you know they're going to go through a tough stretch of games. But I like to believe that the future's bright for Ankeny basketball going forward. Stillwell still taking pressure in the backcourt, does get us into the offensive end. 4:14 remaining fourth quarter. Dowling 52, Ankeny 40. And we see an aggressive Dowling Catholic squad drive the lane. Ryan Riggs heading to the line.
And Otten, again, no doubt he was straight up, but just the angle not good as he slides alongside Riggs, and just enough to force him out of the lane and send Riggs sprawling. Honestly, if Riggs keeps his feet, probably a no call, but with him going to the ground, something had to be called.
Riggs has scored at least 2 points in every quarter tonight. Right now sitting at 13 for Dowling Catholic. Missing 2 hard off the back iron. Riggs this season second in points at 9.3. First in rebounds averaging 6.7. And coming into tonight was a 71% free throw shooter. Misses both. He's 0 for 3 this quarter and a offensive foul charge to Dowling.
Yeah, Daniel got called. He just tried to reach over the back on the long rebound. Right now, Coach Carlson's got to be looking down his bench and start to figure out which players can I use here the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's difficult when Jordan comes your second leading scorer and he's been out since the 5:08 mark of this fourth quarter.
You've got him, you've got Otten, and you've got Bayless. So 3 guys that normally would be starting for him have to play the last half of the will not be playing here the last half of the game or last half of the fourth quarter.
Let's credit Ryan Crandall though for a second. Since a scoreless first, 2 points in the second quarter. He has 4 right now in the fourth. Total 7 points off the bench. Make it 8.
Yeah, he's been a spark for him as well, doing some nice things on defense and rebounds as well.
So there have been some positive spots for the Hawks. Trailing by 10, 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. 52-42 as Stillwell hands it off to Riggs in between the circle.
It's tough. You cannot stall against the Ankeny defense because of the half-court pressure and the quick guard play that they have. It's impossible to keep things away from the hoop. If you're not attacking them on defense, you're losing. That's just the way it is. You have to continue to attack their defense.
So Matt Riedel at the line with 11 points. And the first one will rattle down.
Used a lot of the basket.
Final 3:51 in this boys contest as Dowling Catholic leading now by a dozen, 54-42, 3:49 remaining in the ball game. Smith passing in the corner, stick rod for three, yeah.
You know, I see what Stillwell's trying to do by coming up and doing that, but it created a 5-on-4 look, and Ankeny, great job recognizing getting the shooter in the corner, because once he went after that steal, they were at a disadvantage, especially on this half of the court.
Now Dowling trying to answer on the offensive end with a bucket of their own. What a pocket bounce pass. Both ends. Stracco to Riedel. Riedel to Riggs. Riggs heading to the line for two. Wow.
Everybody knew where the other guy was going to be, and they were able to just get it to him, not looking anybody down, touch the ball, get rid of it right away.
With the exception of the missed basket, poetry in motion right there for Dowling.
Riggs cannot find his range at the free throw line in the fourth quarter here.
Depth perception has been a little bit of an issue on both sides, because we've seen Jordan come and Jackson Smith struggle at the line for Ankeny as well. Riggs hitting the second of two. It's now a 10-point Dowling Catholic lead, 3:13 and counting, fourth quarter. Fall-away shot by Manis on the baseline, no, and a rebound down to Riggs and Dowling. And a reach-in foul called against Ron Mamua.
Oh, they got Mamua, okay. Looked like Stickrod also kind of reached over the top.
3 minutes, Reese, 3 minutes. What does that equal to?
Another guy with 4 fouls. We're going to see some extra warm-up shirts, I think, come off the Ankeny bench here in the near future.
Matt Stillwell, all his points coming in the second half. He's up to 9 now. 3 for 3 at the charity stripe. And the make gives an 11-point Dowling Catholic lead. 3:04 remaining in the ball game. And Stillwell got both. 57-45, 3:01 and counting here in the fourth quarter. As Jackson Smith, looking at a 2-3 zone, will pull up from the elbow, missing short. Rebound to Stillwell. He'll get it up to Stracco. 2-on-1. What a pass! Getting it to Rydell for 2.
Yeah, great look. You know, Ankeny really having to extend their pressure. Dowling beats him back and gets an easy bucket.
Jackson Smith falling away on the baseline, and that's the night in a nutshell for Ankeny.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. I mean, you see if they get all the way down, you get a pretty decent look. Ball goes halfway in, pops out. Exactly what's been going on. I mean, just you have their moments where things look there like they're going to be really good, and then just like that, it's not.
Jackson Smith in the second half has been battling an injury. You can tell it's affecting him the most when you're stationary, like he is right now at the free throw line. When he's running up and down, he looks pretty good, but I have a bad feeling that he's going to be very sore tomorrow.
Well, and those shots that you see of his that we saw him hit early in the game, they're just not on. You know, the rhythm's off. Maybe you're not getting as high off the ground as you were before, but
he's leaving a lot of them short.
Yeah, just throws off the timing.
And Stillwell crashing into the baseline, can't get the shot to go. Down by 13, Smith fires a 3, missing everything. And the rebound down to Drew Daniel. He'll push the pace for Dowling. Rydell getting it over to Stracco. They'll slow things down. 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Dowling leading 59-46. Looking to be heading towards a 3-game winning streak and a 3-1 record. Off glass, no for Rydell.
Yep.
And we got an offensive foul charge to Dowling.
Yeah, Stillwell went over the top of Stickrod on the rebound. And Stickrod, not a tall guy. He's at about 5'9". Stillwell at about 6'2". Not even sure he realized he was kind of underneath him as he went after the rebound.
Well, Good news for Hawks fans. You get Braxton Bayless back after this ball game, and you went 3-1 during his timeout. I think if you ask everybody, start the season, you win 75% of the games that Bayless is out. You'll take that, right?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And once he's back again, just gives them another offensive weapon. They're a little bit limited on that side of things right now when they're not in transition, and he definitely brings that role back to them.
So Stick Rod cans 2, and it's a full timeout. We'll step aside as well. 59-48, Dowling with an 11-point lead here on CISN TV.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Back at the Hawks' Nest as the Dowling Catholic Maroons closing in on a 3-1 start in boys basketball, leading Ankeny 59-48. It's been a good night for Ryan Riggs as he is now up at a season high. See 11, 13, 14 points for Riggs.
And that's a guy that's really grown up from a year ago. He was a guy that actually got himself in a lot of foul trouble a year ago and just didn't quite have that savvy around the hoop. But you see him, he's really perfected some of those post moves and found himself, it looks easy because he's finishing right there with no one between him and the basket, but he's creating that with his moves, 5 to 10 feet away from the basket.
Hawks going to put full court pressure in, and Dowling breaking it textbook. And as I say that, Drew Daniel comes crashing into the lane. Ankeny draws an offensive foul, and the Hawks on offense with 1:41 remaining. And not only that, you get Drew Daniel out of the ballgame in the process.
I had looked away. I see Daniel as I see him give it up. I just kind of looked away. I'm not even sure what happened after that. They called player control. So it must have been something where the defender got, or Manis, I believe it was, got underneath him.
Jackson Smith driving against 2 defenders. And Smith continues to be in pain now. Looks to have a little back issues as he was trying to do the reverse lay-in, use the rim as a defense against the defense, and we'll see how he does. I think an ice bath is in this kid's future.
He hit the ground very hard.
Smith leaving the first one short.
You just tell there's a lot of little things going on with him tonight.
And after this game, I'm sure his health is going to be top concern of the coaching staff. He's been so big during Braxton Bayless's absence. Makes the second. It's a 10-point lead for the Maroons, and they get the inbound to Rydell. Rydell throwing it to Stracco. They have to get it across, and they do with Stracco's dribble. And a timeout called against Dowling.
You tell some frustration over there. They're going full time. Just some general frustration about how the Maroons are handling the press on their own. It's almost the constant look of, we told you to do this, and you're not doing that. So just a quick chance to refresh everything in the huddle.
Well, and we're at the time of year where, yes, this might be mundane, but these teams are trying to prepare for February, and the only way that you can prepare for February is to do things like this at this time of year.
Well, and situationally, it always comes down to, in games of good teams, is making your free throws and not turning the ball over at the end of the game. And, the keys coming in tonight, I think Dowling's done a really nice job keeping Ankeny off the offensive glass. Dowling is pretty much, it's been one and done for Ankeny every time. But on the turnover side of things, Ankeny still forced that issue. And when they've been able to force that issue, they've been able to get there. If they've had to stay in the half-court set, they've really struggled tonight in that half-court offense.
Both of these teams with a game left at least on the schedule. Ankeny with 2 before the holiday moratorium comes on
Steady the shot crease. I got
right before Christmas Eve. Inbound from Rydell in the backcourt, and it nearly was picked off. Stillwell will hit the deck hard, and he comes down.
I think he just landed on it wrong. There's a big difference between landing on it wrong and twisting it, and I'm pretty sure he just landed on it wrong there.
He is grabbing at that right calf and will take his time getting into the offensive end.
One of the better free throw shooters on the Dowling team, so they don't want to sub anybody out for him right now to take these shots.
1:12 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Be curious to see if they try to sub somebody in for Stillwell on defense now with, like you said, a minute 12 left, up by 10.
Dowling coming up next Tuesday. They're at home against Marshalltown. Ankeny's next game is right here at the Hawks Nest against Southeast Polk. 1:12 remaining as Matt Stillwell hitting the first, missing the second. And after 5 straight makes, Stillwell missing one. Smith getting blocked at the cup, put back by Crandall, good.
Yeah, Crandall, once again, he's just right there. He's kind of everywhere the ball is tonight. Crandall finds himself there.
And we will keep it right here. I think it was a 30-second timeout. As far as both of these teams going forward, 4 games in, we'll start with Dowling. You know, what are some things that you think they can continue to improve on as we head towards that Christmas break moratorium?
Well, you see, they understand their team defense. It feels like watching it tonight. They understand they've got the guys protecting the rim, allows the guards to be a little bit more aggressive. And we've seen them share the ball pretty well as well tonight, as they kind of know where each other is going to be on offense. You know, handling things in the backcourt against the pressure of a quick guard type team like Ankeny. That's where they're going to, getting everybody on the same page, situational awareness of when they need to be aware against that pressure defense.
And a reach-in foul in the backcourt against Ankeny. Joe Stracco will walk from one end to the other to shoot free throws.
For the Hawks, I think going forward, they become a different team with Bayless back, for sure. I think they settled. Watching it, it felt like they settled for some shots tonight that just weren't good shots. Early in the possession, 3-pointers that just not really working for it. It was the easy way out. And as they become a little more selective on some of those shots, and it's all a moot point if they hit those shots, but they didn't. And that fact of the matter is that led to some early run-out situations for Dowling and kind of got this lead up for the Maroons. I don't think it got within 5 after the first quarter.
And here comes Ankeny offensively. We're in the final minute of the ball game. It's still an 11-point Maroon lead. Jackson Smith driving the lane, takes on 2 defenders, continues to hit the deck hard. Shot missed, rebound to Ankeny. They throw the ball out on Dowling, so it'll be Hawk ball on their baseline.
And a heady move by Stickrod kind of got himself in position to throw the ball off the Maroon and retain possession.
Oh, it looks like we got a couple of students that had some choice words for the officials and are out of tonight's ball game.
That was pretty quick. Not much arguing from the students. They must have said
or
something
administration for that matter.
Right, just a quick little hit. In the officials, to their credit, just a quick, we don't need to escalate things right now to say, guys, 11-point game, 42 seconds left, cool off.
And to be fair, this has been a really good officiating crew.
It's been a physical game, but it's been physical from both sides of things. So, you actually obviously can't call every foul out there. They felt like early on maybe they tried. As they kind of let the flow of the game start to happen more in the second half, it became a lot better to watch.
We forget. Referees are humans too. They do make mistakes over the course of the game. Just happens that way. A missed second free throw from Stickrod. And in the backcourt, a reach-in foul charge to Ankeny. And this thing will slowly but surely come to an end in 35.5 seconds.
Keogh in the game right now really we didn't see much out of him in the second half, but he was the one in the first half was still well on the bench. We saw Keogh really create some nice things for Dowling and allow them to go into the break with a lead with their leading scorer on the bench.
So Dowling giving Ankeny the free throw. All 4 guys, 3 of the 4 I should say, are in the backcourt. Keogh missing the first, makes the second. Final half minute, stick rod for 3 in the corner, no.
Again, got to identify that shooter down there. Nice job by Stickrod to sneak his way out there and get himself an open look.
Riggs pass deflected into the hands of Lech, and a foul near the right wing with 17.8 remaining. And this all but over. Dowling will move to 3-1. Ankeny will fall to the same result at 3-1.
Let's not forget that Dowling 1 is against a pretty darn good team in Iowa City West, and that's the type of team that, those are the teams that their length will kind of cancel each other out, which forces it more into a guard-oriented type of game. I really feel like Ankeny is just that one longer player away from being able to be one of those upper echelon elite teams in Central Iowa.
So you get both free throws to go for Lech. Final 10 seconds. Smith rises and hits from the right elbow. And Dowling will dribble out the final seconds. It's a 10-point win for Dowling Catholic. Final score, 64-54. And we will step aside for an extended break. Be back with final stats and final comments after this. You're listening to CIML Basketball on the Central Iowa Sports Network, CISN TV.
Employee pricing for all at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. You pay what we pay and not a cent more on most new 19 models, plus 2020 Equinox, Trax, Impala, Sonic, and Spark. New Silverado Cruise. You pay what we pay in Waukee. Up to $13,000 off or up to $8,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. New 2020 Equinox. You pay what we pay. Up to $8,000 off or lease as low as $199 per month. Employee pricing for all. Don't wait. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
As it's a final, Dowling moves to 3-1 with a 64-54 victory tonight over the Ankeny Hawks. Alongside Andy Pollock, I'm Nate Garner. Andy, your final thoughts for both teams. We'll start out with Dowling.
Well, first of all, right here at the end, my headset just started working. So how about that? Right at the end.
Right.
So we'll get that fixed for next time. But no, two teams. Obviously, these coaches will be interesting to talk to them after the game too, because they'll have their ideas of some things that they need to work on. I thought, shooting wise, decent for both teams. I thought maybe shot selection is something that as a whole you can get better at, and just recognizing when's the time to press a little bit. As far as on the offensive end, by press, I just don't mean your traditional full court press, but just kind of press to get maybe a good shot as opposed to press or not press and just settle for something, a fall away three early in the possession or anything like that. So those things will come. It's early in the season. A pretty entertaining game for what really was a double-digit lead for Dowling pretty much, the last 14 minutes of the game, 12 minutes of the game. So I still thought that I like the tempo. I like how we're not just seeing teams do a lot of false motion. I mean, the offenses that we saw from both teams are looking to score. They're looking to get the ball close to the hoop, a lot of positive angle type passes and really attacking things. So these are two teams that are going to garner a lot of wins as the season goes on.
Yeah, I liked the balanced scoring from the Maroons here tonight. 3 players in double figures, 5 scoring 8 or more, led by Matt Riedel with 15 points, had 8 in the first half. He had 14 from Ryan Riggs, 11 from Matt Stillwell, 8 apiece from Michael Keogh and Joe Stracco. On the other side for Ankeny, a game-high 21 points for Jackson Smith, and he played injured, it looked like, for much of the second half, and his status going forward, I think, is going to be paramount if this team is going to get some continuity and continue to push the pace with that entire guard corps.
Yeah, not only him, but Jordan Cum as well. We saw get a little dinged up in the first half, and those are guys that are just so explosive in everything that they do. So, yeah, and that's their game, is being explosive. So anything that really takes that away, they're not the guy that's going to post you up and shoot over you. They're just not that type of player. So anything that hinders their athletic ability is going to be very difficult on them going forward.
So Dowling 3-1 heading home Tuesday to take on Marshalltown for Ankeny. They're back here at home against Southeast Polk. And then both teams will be on the road to finish up the 2019 portion of their schedule. Next Friday, it'll be Dowling at Johnston, and then Ankeny will head over to Urbandale. Andy, first time I've worked with you on a broadcast. Appreciate you being along and hope that we get to work again sometime soon, sir.
Oh, I'm sure we will. They look for a lot of volunteers to do this, so I'm sure we'll get a lot of chances.
Fantastic. Well, again, appreciate your time and appreciate your viewership tonight here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. It's a final from Ankeny. 64-54 in favor of the Dowling Catholic Maroons. For Paul Yeager, Andy Pollock, Peter Tarpey, and the entire CISN crew, my name is Nate Connor, saying to be a winner at life, you can't stop believing in yourself, because a loss today can help get you a win tomorrow. That's it from Ankeny High School. This has been a presentation of the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Being late really screwed with us. We were an hour late getting here.